So last time we left off with Tempus returning from the dead, with Tempus the god in tow. You guys left off in what remains of the Sharp Tree Tribe camp. You guys had a long rest. Chewie showed up in the morning with the cart. And what are you guys going to do?
Chewie showed up with the cart and the rest of the goblins.
They went off with Snicket to the rest of the tribe.
We have things we split up, which can go in the cart, and then we have Chewie to pull it, and we were debating where to go. Tempus wants to go back to the Temple of the Sun to have a talk with Miri's mother, apparently.
Do we know exactly why?
I would say it's probably because he knows that it's definitely not the same god that Miri was initially worshipping that she's following now. It sounds like she's following Dowreth.
Or Sharel.
I
would like to make a stop at Nordgard. Having read Hogarth's previous journal, I have some more questions for Councilman Yaereene.
Oh, aye, that boy needs a sharp stick poking at him.
I don't think I'd call him a boy. And I also need to make up for what I did in Nord.
I would like to get to Nordgard because I want to talk to Yaereene, but more for understanding than anything. And then there's the whole problem of we have a city that is not prepared for an invasion of the undead and an undead swarm coming our way. We need to somehow get things prepared.
I also would like to bring the remnants of the Sharp Tree Tribe with us to ensure that they get there safely.
We already told them to head for the city and to get to the Jagged Tusk Tribe because they are potentially allies anyway.
Now, there's still the baby to account for, is there not?
I don't know if we're ready to go take on a tribe of flesh takers.
And
it sounds like they have some goods now, which is concerning. Sorry, Yaereene, go ahead.
I hate Miri. I'm so sorry. I hate to say this, but I'm a little worried about your mom. I'm not sure I think she might be raising some people to talk to them, and so I have some of the same concerns about maybe we should go see her too.
Yes, but Nord is closer.
I actually don't know. Ryan, can we see the map again?
Okay, so you can see where you are right now on the map. It's a little bit faint. To the southwest is the Temple of the Sun, probably about 4 days' journey. And Nordgard is about a week.
It's like
a couple weeks.
It's like down here, right?
A week after that, right?
Yeah, if you're going through the woods, each grid square is about a day.
Forested grid squares too, because they're tougher terrain, or?
Yeah, it just takes longer to get through the forest than it does, walking through city streets or along roadways.
I have Yaereene to help with that, though.
Yeah, I was just looking that up.
I'm still not letting you go through the forest at the rough forest with a cart and mule at the same speed that you would walk through a city street.
Or we're not twice as slow.
We just
either.
don't get lost. We just don't get lost with Yaereene.
Okay, that's fair. But yeah, Temple of the Sun is right there, and Nord is here.
It says difficult terrain doesn't slow my group's travel is part of my natural explorer ability. So Ryan, you're welcome to interpret that how you will, but that's the ability that I do have.
Either way, it sounds like Temple of the Sun is our more direct route to go to now, and then from there we can head back to the city. I think we need to prioritize one of those two. My priority is the city, but if the Temple of the Sun is sort of on the way, we can make that route.
Okay.
Which way did the goblins go?
The goblins all headed to the west, where they said the women were.
And potentially the baby.
Yeah.
And that's further out of the way of everything. I kind of want to go and make sure that they're okay.
We don't have time to do 20 different things, though. And I'm kind of prioritizing protecting the city and dealing with undead menaces
Now Harris would and the rest of Tempus's tribe were heading towards the city already. If not
They were already in the city.
Okay, yeah. That's right. We managed to get them in there before we started heading off this way. I honestly, I'd kind of like to see Harris again. I'm worried about her.
My only concern is that sometimes small groups can have big impacts, and what if there's something driving this? Miri, your mom scared me the last time. Well, the only time I saw her.
Yeah, she scared me too. That's not normal.
Then perhaps Tempus is on to something and we should head for the temple. Oops.
That's where Miri's mum is the Temple of the Sun. That's right, because she did leave the city, we found. Aye.
That was her plan, yes.
Yeah, when Miri told her mum that Jandalar was dead, Miri's mum said that she thought she might be able to bring Jandalar back. So she went to the Temple of the Sun.
Well, then I would agree.
But Mum's not that strong.
She wasn't.
That you know of anymore. A lot has happened, Miri.
I think the mum you
Yes.
know and the one we're facing are not one and the same anymore, dear.
I had figured that out. And that was what had upset me and that's why I didn't leave those tablets with her.
So you didn't trust her enough to leave the tablets. And Tempus has come back saying he wants to find her and talk to her.
And we're closer right now to the Temple of the Sun.
Yes. I don't think we're going to be much help to the goblins anymore.
No, I suppose not.
I say it's the sun.
Then let's go.
Yep.
Start trying to fix these messes.
In for a penny, in for a pound. We're off.
Okay.
Bye.
You guys start heading towards the Temple of the Sun. Yaereene, would you like to give me a survival check?
Ooh.
Yes, I would.
Nat 20, nice.
So as you're heading southwest, you do see a large number of goblin tracks heading southward across your path, and you get the sense that it's probably the group of Sharp Tree Tribe goblins that are heading towards Nordgard.
I convey that to everybody else. How far ahead of us do they appear to be?
It looks like they probably started traveling this morning as well, so they wouldn't be that far away.
So do we think we can catch them? Like, are they traveling? Well, I guess in time we'll be able to know if they're traveling slower than us or not.
Right. The tribe has various other things that they're carrying with them as well, so they are a little bit slower than you guys, especially with your ranger abilities. So you would be able to catch up to them fairly quickly if you wanted to.
We're going to have to split off if we're going to the temple, though.
Yeah, but that would let Miri check on. Well, that would let us all check on the goblins before doing so.
I think we'd like to check on the goblins.
No, that's fair. Oh, let's keep going.
Okay. So yeah, it's not long, but an hour's travel before you can see the group of goblins ahead, trudging through the snow.
Do we recognize them as our goblins or the ones that wanted to kill us in a mad forest dash?
They are definitely your goblins. They're the Sharp Tree Tribe, and you can see there's roughly 100 goblins in the group.
Oh, that's a relief.
All right,
I let everybody know and let somebody else talk.
Let's hail them.
Okay. Yeah, the goblins recognize
How
you.
about Tempus say hello? Because we know Tempus can talk goblin.
And hopefully he'll actually be here any minute.
Assuming he can at least say hello. When we get close, do they still seem welcoming to us, all that? Or are they kind of mad they got attacked?
So they're relieved to see you, and all of the goblins who see Tempus bow before him, having heard the news of Tempus returning to the world. They're all extremely reverent towards him, and you see that the news travels quickly through the camp, or through the group of goblins, and a lot of them are now turning around from the direction they had been going to come and see you guys.
Can I keep my eyes out for any babies?
Yep.
Thank you.
Give me a perception check. just a sea of goblins, and there's a lot of goblins carrying children around.
Hold on.
Look at anything.
I am going to look for the elder and ask him if he's got like an extra copy of the prayer book, as I am a new convert to the Church of Tempus.
Gurkum no have books of Tempus. Goblin tradition is passed down through the generations, through stories and song.
Can you teach me the most important songs?
Certainly. It will take a couple of days to make sure that you know the most important ones.
I'd like to know them too.
I don't know if we have days to learn. I'd like to see you safe in Nordgard, and we need to go and deal with an issue in the Temple of the Sun. And I don't really want to drag you into more trouble. You've done more than enough already.
It is our plan to head to Nordgard to see the Jagged Tusk.
And we'll be heading back to Nordgard once we've dealt with the problem in the temple.
If you wish, Gurkum could teach you the songs when we meet in Nordgard.
I think that will probably be the best. Thank you, Gurkum.
You're most welcome.
Yaereene sidles up to Miri. Miri, Tempus could maybe teach you them.
Probably.
Gherkin, is the baby about?
You see he pales at the mention of Ataha, and he shakes his head and says, "The elf-faced orc assaulted the womenfolk, but fortunately he did not kill them, as he only sought to take back his child."
You mean our child?
No, his child, right? That was the chief's baby, wasn't it?
So he claimed. The women told me when I reached them that the chief claimed the child as his own, and that is why the flesh takers sought to hunt us down.
I apologize for the trouble we brought you in bringing the child. We didn't know that at the time.
Please, may I see the women folk who were frightened and injured? I'd like to help them.
Certainly. And Gurkum calls some of the goblins forward, and you see that their injuries have already been tended to, and they've had a night's rest since the attack. So mostly they were just scared by the elf-faced orc. There is no lasting damage done to any of them.
I give them each a blessing anyway. Tempus thanks you for your bravery in facing these evil creatures.
You're not 100% sure that all of them understand what you're saying, but they nod appreciatively anyway.
I'm sure they'll understand Tempus, and I can ask Gurkum to translate.
He tells them, and they're most appreciative for your blessings, and wish you well on your travels as well.
That's probably about as much as I can do for them at the moment.
Okay, if we're traveling together for a bit, Ysmyr will talk to Gurkum as well, but hers will be more, okay, I believe we've discussed this before, but when you get to Nordgard, meet with the Jagged Tusk, since you were allies or at least friendly with each other. Look for Harris. Do you need trade? Trade seems to be a positive that the city council looks upon when inviting others into the city. What do you have to trade?
The Sharp Tree Tribe has nothing remaining to trade. Our camp was overrun by orcs and then the undead. We have only ourselves to bring at this point.
Plus what...
Have any trades or skills that might be valued by the council?
Perhaps we shall have to speak with the council to see what we can do.
Can you build things? Patch stuff up?
If my allies are willing. We found a few fine items in the Citadel when we were looking for the diamond for Tempus's resurrection. We could give you a few. They're small, but they have some value. That would give you a little leeway. And I know Snicket took some earnings as well.
The Shark Tree tribe would be in your debt if you could give us something to trade with the people of Nordgard.
Here, I'll just, character just gonna go over what I'm thinking of to the group. They're just little treasures we found, nothing for them except their value. So I'd like to donate those if you guys are willing.
That seems reasonable. Those are probably not things we want to be carrying around because they're art objects and we're about to go into someplace where we're likely to get in a fight.
I don't know. I kind of like that fox fur short sword scabbard, but I've got a long sword, so donate it.
We also have some things we had earlier that we hadn't sold, so like a black velvet mask and some stuff too. These are things we could sell for money, but we don't really need them.
Yeah, these things being art objects, I say we go ahead and, various art objects would probably be a good thing to dump on the, that sounds rude the way that I put that dump on them, but the goblins would have a better time transporting them.
Well, that's why I would just give them to them.
Yeah, because that gives them something to trade with, and then we don't have to worry about carrying them around.
Are you guys okay with this?
Yep.
Definitely.
Aye.
Okay, then I'll take those off the list. But Ysmyr will go to the cart and dig those out and bring them to Gurkum to hold on to or distribute as he sees fit.
Okay.
Sounds good.
The goblins are extremely thankful for everything that you give them, and are much happier about their prospects of getting into Nordgard now.
And this sets up allies.
We need all the allies we can get. Hopefully things go well for you.
And I sort of offer a generalized blessing on the entire tribe.
Okay. Anybody else want to do anything with the Shark Tree tribe?
Yaereene wants to sidle up to Gurkum and just thank him. Those are the only 2 words she can really get out at this point, but...
Okay.
I actually want to find Snicket.
Okay, yeah, Snicket is there.
All right. Snicket, I appreciate everything, and I'm sorry for the loss of your one friend. I'm a better man for knowing you, and I hope you'll think better of the elves having met me. I'm proud of you. And I'll always keep you in memory, and I hope to see you soon in the city.
Oh, stop it. Big goblins don't cry. It was fun while it lasted, and neither of us are dead yet, so we'll see you in the city. And he'll give KTR a hug around the knee and cast Levitate on him.
I expect that. I'm going to do a grab on you and take you up with me.
Okay, we'll float for a bit, and then he'll give you a smile and bid you well.
I pick him up, I give him a big hug, and I kiss him on top of his head as I put him down. I'm good.
As am I, so I think we're good to move on.
Yeah, if we can travel with them for safety for a bit, that'll be good. But once we have to split off, we'll have to do that.
Well, how much faster do we travel by ourselves compared to them?
A fair bit.
All right, then I think we're good to continue.
Okay, so you guys continue on to the southwest, and the rest of the day is pretty uneventful.
All right, so I guess then we'll want to set up camp and set up watches as normal, even if we're camping with the goblins for the first day, just to be safe.
Oh, I thought you guys were leaving the goblins because they travel slower.
Yeah, I think we would have left them behind.
Okay. Sorry, my bad. And we'll want to set up camp. And be very wary. We've had some bad luck in this forest.
Did I run across any other out of the ordinary tracks during the day, Ryan?
No, actually, it's a little bit strange how few tracks you ran across, considering the number that you came across heading north to the Citadel. It seems like there's less here than what you saw before.
Oh, that's not necessarily good. I do let everybody else know about that.
Tempus is, after having sort of like watched you guys go through the inventory and hand a bunch of stuff off to the goblins, he is going to, looking in the cart, is going to point at the great big greatsword that you guys got and said, "Oh, where did this come from?"
Well, let's talk about that.
I would like it. May I have it?
Let's talk first.
Love Tempest. That's so direct.
There's possibly an evil spirit in there. I don't know what it'll do. You're still willing to hold on to it?
Yep.
Are you going to tell us if something is wrong?
Well, when you say evil spirit, do you think that it's going to cause something to happen to me?
I think it could.
Well, I have a god inside of me, so I think that would probably be, proof to any evil spirit I might encounter.
He has a point.
Here's the deal. If it curses you or makes you do anything that makes you a danger to us, you let us know so that we can address it.
Well, in that...
I'm speaking from experience. You don't want to just grab random weapons and listen to voices if they give you any.
Well, in your case, it seems to have worked out fine, though. Your guide has been helping you, and through you, us.
For now.
You also got all sorts of cool magic powers, so clearly grabbing things is perfectly safe and never turns out poorly.
I don't think that's the right attitude.
That's a bit of an assumption, isn't it?
Anyway.
It might get me later. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, Tempus. I think this could go very poorly for me.
Well, I do have a confession to make. The god within me is, for the most part, I think we're on the same page about a lot of things, but sometimes I can feel him speaking in my mind and I don't fully understand what he's on about. There's also times where I black out and don't really seem to have any memory of what happened at the time, so there may come a point where I'm not fully in control of my own actions.
That already doesn't make me more comfortable with you taking this.
It's okay. If ever you need to take me down, I'm going to explain my top secret weaknesses to you. First, if you manage to cut, stab, or bludgeon me enough, I will fall unconscious.
That's pretty normal.
Second, I am resistant to most damage when I am in my rage, except for psychic damage.
I don't think any of us has psychic damage.
Out of game, KTR totally does. But in game, if ever I am going on a rampage or acting against the group, I just want to make it clear right now that you all have my permission to knock me out.
KTR just kind of cocks his head.
I might actually have something that could do something about that.
See, everything's fine, and Tempus grabs the greatsword.
And Ysmyr throws her hands up in the air and turns away.
That discussion was not over.
Now, Tempus, you realize you're kind of ticking off the war leader.
Oh? And he'll drop the greatsword. If so, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to. War leader?
Why do you want the sword? You usually fight with not swords.
Yes, I know, but the god within me says that he would feel more comfortable with this greatsword. He likes it.
See, now, that's what you should have started with.
It seems impolite to bring up the conversations in my head, though.
Seems impolite to them out.
Agree to disagree.
That earns a laugh from Ysmyr. If you're willing to take the risks and won't be a risk to us, or if you become one and are willing to work with us to not be one anymore, then fine. If that's what you need to do, take it.
I do understand that in the past my reckless behavior has given you cause for concern, but I promise I will try to do better in the future, and I very much appreciate you trusting me. And he'll pick up the greatsword and strap it to his back.
See, it makes a lot more sense when he explains that his patron wants the sword, because the sword is more the right tool for the patron to be using.
Yes, but we know nothing about the sword. And like I
True.
said, speaking from experience, grabbing random weapons sometimes doesn't work out so well.
Yes, but if we just let him keep it for now and then find a better one when we get back to town.
It's fine.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
All right. Well, let's settle down for the night then.
Yes.
So Tempus, are you attuning to the sword?
I'm going to be sitting and focusing on it, but attuning sounds like fancy magic talk that it goes beyond Tempus's ken.
Okay, so you won't get the +1 bonus to attack and damage when you're using it if you're not attuned.
Okay, fine. I'll attune to it, but I'll do what it takes to get it working for Tempus with a +1 bonus.
You'll bond with it, and it will take over your soul.
It can only go half-seas with a god at this point, so...
So just so you know, as long as you remain cursed with this item, you are unwilling to part with the sword, keeping it on your person at all times. While you're attuned to the weapon, you have disadvantage on attack rolls made with weapons other than this one.
Oh, bollocks, Kay.
I tried.
Yeah, I heard you.
Asked if you were willing to risk it.
But the question is, like, how much skill does he have with it?
I'm not nearly as good with this as I am with a polearm, stupid god.
You can start practicing.
Whenever you take damage in combat, you're also going to have to make a DC 15 wisdom save. And if you fail it, you have to attack the creature that damaged you until you drop to 0 hit points, or it does, or until you can't reach the creature to make an attack against it. It is possible to break the curse. You can cast Banishment on the sword that forces the vengeful spirit to leave it, and the sword then becomes +1 weapon.
Ryan, I'm just thinking you're going to need to plan ahead for if multiple creatures attack him, how to determine which one he needs to attack. Because Tempus, you should plan ahead.
Yeah. I think there's some kind of fate system that is worked into Foundry that I can figure out.
Excellent.
Grumble, grumble.
Now I don't have to worry about meta gaming because that was accidentally told to me what it was.
All right. The game experience gets turned up.
Well, at least in 3 more levels I'll have Great Weapon Master.
3 more levels to come by really fast.
Curse you, wicked DM.
Well, in the hopes of getting you more initiative, shall we finish this rest and keep going to the Temple of the Sun?
Well, Tempus would like to take a moment to chat with Katiara when they're both in the men's tent, but if anybody else has anything to do, feel free to get to it.
Nope.
I was just going to ask to keep track of when we're traveling, Ryan. I'll keep track of what tracks I'm seeing, trying to pay specific attention for that.
Katiara, I couldn't help but notice today that you are walking funny, that you seem to be in some sort of discomfort. What has happened?
Well, while we were getting the diamond to reanimate you, I tended to be on the wrong end of too many blows by a chimera, and it's kind of messed me up. Basically, there's a good chance every time I try to do something, over exertion, like I try to cast magic or I try and wallop somebody with my longsword, that I'll just go into a spasm attack and just lay there twitching.
That's terrible. And you say this happened while you were gathering the diamond. What can be done to help you?
As far as I know, it's a spell that's beyond our abilities or even Garkin's. Basically, I've got to wait around a month for me to just recover naturally.
Okay, so what you're telling me is that there is hope.
Oh, aye. I'm not permanently botched. I'm just, I short circuit. I'm problematic in doing anything beyond giving you guys inspiration as a bard.
The moral of the story is we have to get you fixed before you go back to see my mother, or she is going to kill me again.
Oh, I was going to spin this where I was basically taking the damage and doing all that to spare everyone else to restore you. So I was trying to, like make it look a wee bit better than me just being a dumbass and getting bushwhacked.
Tiara, you literally brought me back from the dead. You saved the rest of the party by standing up to a chimera, and you're a hero, and she is going to barely let you out of her sight after that. But seriously, me, she's just going to kill.
Nah, I don't see that. I don't see that. But you know her better than I, and no, I wasn't the hero. It was everybody else doing it. I just lay there keeping on dying over and over and them trying to pick me up. I was a bit of a dead weight.
You are being far too hard on yourself. By the way, what are your intentions with my mother?
Well, I've never, huh. You know, there's a lot of talk about us bards being like basically horn dogs just jumping from bed to bed. But I was never one to do that. I have to care about someone usually before I go to the next step. Your mother kind of jumped that step for me, but I've I've come to care for her. I like her. She's as subtle as a horse with a hard on, but she's a lovely girl, even if she's overly direct. She obviously cares for me. It's more that I fear, uh, it's more I fear that she'll tire of me and move on because she doesn't really see and, um, she does not really seem to be the one to stay with a single partner. And if that's it, that's it. I mean, I'll just be happy to share what she is willing to give me.
You're not wrong, and honestly, out of all of my mother's partners, you're easily the best one that she's ever found, and so I really want to help you. As I was going through our treasures, I couldn't help but notice that axe that we took from the Flesh Takers, the Man Mincer Great Axe. Now, you said that you were maybe thinking of looking for something a little more permanent. All I'm saying is, if you were to offer that axe to my mother and tell her that, you trust that she would be able to use it to look after you and everything that's important to her, then, I guess the way that you civilized folks would maybe describe that is as a wedding proposal.
I will take that under advisement. And you see me get up, and I immediately head out to look for the damn axe.
Tempus turns over and goes to sleep.
All right, Tiara, you can add the axe to your inventory if you'd like.
I got
Okay.
it for you.
Thank you.
That was fun.
What that and all was silently dying. I could not. Well done, sir. Very diplomatic.
And we're going to play catch, and we're going to go to games together, and I've got a father figure now.
Well, I've got you in years. Maybe not in experience, but I've got you in years.
So, do we get to the end of a long rest without incident?
Yeah, you sure do.
All right. Then next morning, after we get up and pack up and stuff, if everyone's up for it, I think we're good to go.
In the morning, I would go to Miri and offer her the morning star that I took off of the bugbear, and just tell her that, now that you're a priestess of Tempus, I think that this might suit you a little bit better than your mace, and I know this can't be easy for you, Miri. I know that you're going through a lot right now, and I just want to help however I can, and if you'll take this morning star and use it to beset our enemies, I'm sure that someday together we can help you find Fultis again.
All right. Miri drops her mace and accepts the morning star. Can you teach me a morning prayer?
Absolutely. And Tempus is going to immediately start raucously singing the sword song to praise Tempus the deity. I searched long and hard on the internet, and I could not find any suggestion as to what the sword song actually has in terms of lyrics. It seems that however many writers the Forgotten Realms have, nobody's ever actually put pen to paper, so I imagine it's something along the lines of sword song, Tempus is the best. We raise our voices to praise him, and he will do the rest. Oh, sword song, and so on.
Okay.
This is a song that never ends.
Oh god. So probably the dance that goes with this would be some sort of kata, which is a martial arts practice set of movements. And thus the morning prayer becomes sort of a weapons practice as much as a prayer, which
That definitely
works.
sounds accurate.
So Miri and Tempus begin morning weapons practice while singing a song of battle.
Is this before we're walking?
No, we'll cut it out after breakfast and get to marching.
Okay.
It's probably about 15 to 30 minutes of running through battle positions, and then we make breakfast.
And we name all of the different weapons that we can list, from neginatas to nunchucks, and all the way down to swords.
That's probably a good idea, going through a list of weapons.
Including all the ones that 5e cut off of the inventory list.
Sure.
Anyway, we'll get to marching again.
Okay. Yaereene, can I get a survival check?
That one is not as impressive as yesterday's.
Yeah, a 10's still not terrible. So you managed to make your way through the forest, but you're not seeing any tracks through the fresh fallen snow today.
Not even shambling ones?
Nothing.
Oh boy.
So you travel through the day, and there's not really a great camping spot along the way as you get to the end of the day, but it'll do.
And I do let everybody know that there's been no tracks today.
Well, with the fresh fallen snow, they'd be damned close to us if we did see tracks, wouldn't it? Wouldn't you think?
Probably.
But we usually see something.
Not even a deer or anything, hey?
It's worrisome. I think it might mean that whatever undead scourge is haunting these woods is driving away the living creatures, or maybe even infesting them.
And ahead of us.
Yes. Has everyone had a chance to read this journal from the assassin Hogarth?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I thought that attacking the Temple of the Sun and trying to reckon with Miri's mother was the right choice, but perhaps we should rush to Nordgard and warn them. Maybe we have some way of sending them a message or trying to warn them about the oncoming incursion.
Sending. Hang on.
What's that, Miri?
Sending.
Are you feeling something, Miri?
No, sending is a spell.
So if you're doing a sending, who are you sending to?
Well, that's the question. I can prepare a sending. I can send a message to a familiar creature at any distance. It has to be a fairly short message, only 25 words or less. But I could send to any familiar creature.
What message and to who? Are you going to send it to the prince? Are you going to send it to your mum saying, hey, we know something's up? Or, like, are you going to send it to
What I'm
the
trying
chief of
to ask.
police?
I wouldn't send it to the police. They're idiots.
Well, that's
I'm
being
thinking it
kind.
would make the most sense to send it to Harris or Snicket or someone.
Well, they don't have any say in the city. If we want to send a message ahead to the city, you're better off sending it to a councilman or Bartimus, the
I
prince.
think the councils would listen to me.
I think Bartimus would.
Could you send more than one message?
I suppose.
Prince Bartemius, I think, would be a natural choice, but given how the council has treated him previously, I don't rightly know that they would listen to
I will
him.
point out, Tempus, they treated him that way because of your actions, remember?
Yes, but the fact that they treated him like that because of the actions of another person does not speak highly to their integrity.
Also, they did listen to us when we cleared it up, and they're allowing the Jagged Tusk into the city.
I could send 2 messages.
You have to send it to the right ones.
Personally, I would advise that either the leader of House Bell, who declared themselves to be an ally of the Prince and the Jagged Tusk, as well as Prince Bartemius, would be the best option.
I don't know the house spell.
How familiar do you have to be with someone?
You know what they look like. You were there.
You've actually reached the end of the day at this point when you guys are talking about it. So you could prepare it for the morning.
All right, well, I can prepare it for the morning.
How familiar would she have to be, Ryan? Like, her brief interactions with the council, would that be sufficient for her to choose any of the counselors?
Yeah, I think so. Like, familiar is doesn't require any kind of like intimacy by the sounds of it.
And then, yes, I would send it to the councilman and the prince, because even if it's the same message, if you can get things straightforward enough, at least then there's 2 who know, and it's not just Prince going in and trying to sway things.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan. Counselor Bell was a human lady, is that correct?
It's been a while.
Yeah, like 10 months.
Yes, Faria Bell is a human.
My vote's her and the prince, but ultimately it is Miri's spell. It's up to her.
Ryan,
Yes.
can I detect any other humanoids within 5 miles of us?
Nope.
Oh my god, I let everybody know that.
Sorry, specifically no humanoids within a 5-mile radius of us?
Uh-huh.
So that's regardless if they're alive or undead.
Well, I can only detect the alive ones. I can't detect undead.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Should I prep some detect spells for tomorrow?
Do you have anything that can handle dead people? Because I think you should prep those.
Those don't need to be prepped.
Okay, just double checking.
As a cleric, I automatically have turn undead.
Sounds good.
Look into the trees, Ryan. Any little birdies or anything?
Perception check. You're not seeing or hearing anything.
Nuts. Okay.
All right, well, at most, all I can suggest is tonight, those on watch be extra vigilant. Because there being no humanoids could mean there's nothing here, or we do have a problem.
Ryan, are we anticipating getting to the temple tomorrow?
You think it's about 2 days still.
Thank you.
How close together is our campsite?
Close enough to hear each other snore.
Actually, I do have Tiny Hut.
Oh.
You do?
That's a good spell.
Oh, yes, I made sure when I leveled up, I took the dang thing.
Oh,
Tell us about this hut.
A 10-foot radius immobile dome of force springs into existence around you and above you and remains stationary for the duration. Spell ends if you leave its area. 9 creatures of medium size or smaller can fit inside the dome with you. The spell fails if its area includes a larger creature or more than 9 creatures. Blah, 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 blah. The dome is opaque from outside, and basically Leomon's tiny hut is impervious. So it's a dome of force protecting us, and spells and other magical effects can't extend through the dome or be cast through it. Yeah, no other creatures or objects are barred from passing through it. So, like, basically, we're protected.
all right. So if we set up by the cart, and you set that up, then I would still suggest we have a watch, just in case there's something outside of the dome we should know about. But end of the day, why not set that up?
Aye, and we can have Chewie with us.
I was just
Well,
going to
that's
ask
why
if it fits inside.
Oh yeah.
A donkey or a burro would not be above medium.
Okay.
Yeah, Chewie will fit. The card will have to stay outside, but everything else.
Oh yeah. So I cast it and I say, and it is a ritual spell, so I spend 10 minutes invoking it.
While the rest of us, set up blankets and stuff.
Yep.
And make
And
sure
I-
the cards are loaded.
Yep. And then I go, well, friends, come inside and enter a repose of rest where we only need to worry about people coming and nicking stuff from the cart.
Except we emptied the cart, so all the contents of the cart are in the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll stack the stuff inside and we'll head in, and Tempus gives you a great big slap on the back and says, well done, Katiara.
This is a useful spell.
Now, do I actually have to do my neuralgia to cast it?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry guys, I had to be honest.
No,
I
good
was
on ya.
wondering too, so
Okay, and that was a DC 15 what, con?
Con save, yeah.
Give yourself inspiration.
Nope. You see me try and cast it, and I fall down in a collapsing twitch.
Oh, that's not good.
but it was a ritual, so you could try if you recovered, right?
Yeah. I can keep on trying this until the cows come home, as my mother would say.
Sounds good.
I'll stand watch while he's doing so.
I twitch even more elegantly.
You give yourself like an inspiration to help your roll.
I got it this time.
Okay. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I have something that might help.
Well, I could have cast Bardic Inspiration on myself. I feel that would have been cheating.
Actually, if you're doing it as a ritual, it's not a single action to cast it. So I'd say that you'd get that on your first try. You don't have to worry about your neuralgia for rituals.
Oh, all right. Cool. Thank you.
All right.
And also, since I can decide whether or not it's opaque or not, it's transparent from the inside. So when we're keeping watch, we can do it from inside and keep an eye on everything outside.
Sounds good.
And I noticed you're not allowed to leave the area. We can, but you can't.
Yep.
Good to know.
Yeah, sorry I forgot I had that. Otherwise would have cast it before.
Now we know.
So in the safety of the tiny hut, the night goes completely uneventfully. Hooray!
Does any of the watch
Yay.
see anything?
No.
At one point during the night, Tempus would like to either nudge or poke Yaereene until she wakes up. But other than that, if anybody else has anything else to go first with, I just want to have a quick talk with Yaereene.
No, I'm just busy planning my wedding.
Ysmyr probably looks over that silver dragon scale armor, just looking at what needs fixing on it, so we know later. But
Yeah, it's in pretty rough shape. Like it looks like it was just about ready to fall off the zombie that was wearing it. But you can give me an investigation check. These scales, the silver dragon scales that were used to make it, were cast-off scales. They were naturally shed by dragons. They weren't taken by force.
okay. Well, no one else will know this, but she feels a lot better about that. All right, yeah, she's just going to spend some time looking at that and then sleep or take her watch.
Okay. Tempus, feel free to poke Yaereene.
Yeah, he'll poke her and just sort of as she comes to wake up, he'll be like, Yaereene, do you want to step outside the dome and talk for a few minutes?
Oh, okay.
And so you guys can, he'll slip outside the dome with you, and you'll note he's maybe looking a little bit nervous, and he just says, I don't think I really thanked you for your role in helping to bring me back from the dead, so thank you.
Well, we're family now.
Yes, and I want to ask you about that. I'm not the same Tempest that I was before I died, and I don't know if it's the god in my head or the experience that I had going to the other side and coming back, but I think I'm starting to understand things a little bit more differently than I did before. Specifically something Ysmyr said to me back a while ago that I think I just disregarded. When I declared you to be a member of the Jagged Tusk, I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought that you were strong and worthy and capable, and I thought that by replacing your family with my own, I could help you, and that it would also spite your family for the cruel way that they had treated you, and I went and I did all of that without bothering to ask you how you felt about it. And I should have.
I don't have any other family except for, well, the rest of them, too.
But is that what you want?
I want a family.
And, well, what about in the future? Do you know what you might like in the days when we are not threatened by the undead and hopefully the world is more peaceful than it is right now?
I want to be able to do good and be worthy.
Well, I think you're worthy of a lot of things.
Thank you.
No, thank you. And he'll dash back inside the hut and continue his watch.
Yaereene will pause a little bit before going in and do a little bit of thinking. Then she'll go in and straight to bed.
Tempus, you've been extremely thoughtful towards your party members lately, and I'm giving you a bonus point in insight on your character sheet.
Woohoo! That'll bring me to a total of
+1.
Hooray.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Anything else over the course of the night? I'll take the silence as a no.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys wake up in the morning, and the tiny hut disappears.
And
can I spend a couple minutes seeing if I can sense any other living humanoids within 5 miles now?
Aside from yourselves, you don't sense anything.
Yeah, that's alarming. I let the rest of the group know as well that it's just us out here.
Well, at least if we see something coming at us, we'll know that it's something that we got to deal with.
This is a little bit creepy.
And Ryan, as we're traveling today, I'd like to stop every couple of hours and do the same thing.
Okay.
And I'll let the group know that I'll let them know if I see anybody, if I can sense anyone.
Okay.
Miri, I think you wanted to do something in the morning?
Yes, the sending thing.
Okay. Who are you sending a message to, and what does it say?
The party was supposed to help me figure that out.
No. This is on you, my friend. But
you had all night.
are you thinking that you're going to send it to the people that we suggested, Prince Bertemius and the town councilor?
Yes, probably.
Okay. I challenge you to freeball it. You got this.
Free ball?
Just start spitting words, and Ryan will let you know when you hit 25.
Yeah, I will type exactly what you say and use my word counter.
Is there an orc attack coming, though?
I mean, maybe.
So much information to share. So few words.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm sitting here trying to think.
And you don't have to use all 25. So if you just want to touch on some of the things that we laid out, you got it. And don't worry, what's the worst that could happen?
You say that like we can't top something.
I mean, whoever heard of like a message causing any kind of things to go wrong?
Yeah, that's never happened.
You're not helping, Tempus.
Yeah, mine's like 18, so there's 7 other that you could add to it.
Tempus totally isn't crushing on anyone. Is only 6. You still got another word to play with.
Does XOXOXO count as one word, or?
Sure.
You always have to ask the tough questions, don't you, Tempus?
I'm here to help.
Damn it, I need to talk like a Nopon.
Yeah, you can't be eloquent with 25 words.
Not when you have so many different messages that you need to send.
We're just giving options, too. Like, you can mix and match.
Totally.
Yeah, I'm sitting here trying to type out what I want to say, and I'm not getting very far.
Well, Tell you what, like, you don't have to worry about typing it. Just say how you're going to say it. Like, if you want to go off of one of the messages that has been suggested and maybe add your own flourishes, you can do that too.
Wait, what all do we need to tell him?
Like, I would honestly, here, let me see. Take Kiara's, because he has each point covered pretty well. How many? You had 18 words, right? 1, 2.
That's what I'd gotten.
Yeah, I had 18 there because I tried to make it 5, except for the last one, which is 3.
But do we need to tell him that we got the thing at the Daystar Lake?
Nope, he didn't know we were
I
going
wouldn't worry
there.
about that right
None
now.
of his business.
Yeah, and that's...
We don't even know if it's useful right now.
Yeah.
The main thing we want to tell them about is, hey, there is a giant army of undead coming up from the south, and its ranks are only getting bigger, so we need to be ready for it. That's the biggest thing we need to get across to them.
Yes. There's flesh takers to the north. There's undead from the south. Goblins are coming to reinforce Nordgard.
You got it. So tell Ryan when you're casting sending and lay it out. Come on, Miri.
That's probably about the best I'm gonna get. Okay.
And they can answer you back if they need clarification.
A little bit, yes. So this is the first cast of sending going to the prince. Sharp Tree Tribe goblins coming to reinforce Nordgard. Big undead army advancing from south. Flesh takers to north. Prepare for battle.
Is that all?
How many words am I at?
21.
21.
XOXOX.
All precautions necessary.
All precautions necessary. Yeah.
Because even if nothing shows up, better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah.
So he immediately gets a response of a similar nature. I'm just going to take a second to craft it.
Okay.
Nicely done.
Yeah, sending's not an easy one to do, but it is nice
Which
to be
would be
able to
why
send
it's a 3rd level spell.
Yeah, but it is nice to be able to send messages ahead now.
Yep.
A response comes, says, "We are no longer in Nordgard. Returning to the south, send news to Nordgard."
Yes, indeed. Unlawful carnal knowledge, totally.
You maybe should warn him that there is a giant horde between him and the south. And that...
Well, he got the message.
But I don't think he understood that there is a giant undead horde between him and the south, and that he should turn back to the city and wait 3 days. We'll be there by then, maybe.
Otherwise, all they'll do is reinforce the horde coming to Nordgard.
Miri, if you tell him that if he returns to Nordgard, we can get him in contact with his father, that might convince him to turn around.
How are you proposing that I can get him in contact with his father?
You use that wonderful sending spell.
I've never met his father.
She doesn't know his dad.
Well, surely he's the king. There must be portraits or coins minted in his image. Perhaps someone could cast an illusion of him.
This ridiculous idea.
I would suggest you let Councilwoman Bell know first, and then, because Nordgard needs to know.
Yes.
I would almost...
And that will be all of my spell slots.
And then I would say tomorrow we let the orcs know.
So do we just let him keep going to the south and reinforce the horde against us?
We don't have the words or the time to convince him to turn around. You're not going to convince him with a 25-word message.
Especially not from someone like me.
Oh, don't denigrate yourself, girl. You infuriate me. You bash me about and give me crap all the time, and yet you don't give any damn worth to yourself.
I'm not a noble. He's not going to listen to me.
It's not... Talking with the prince, I don't think nobility matters. He's worried about his city, like his empire, which, whatever. If he's smart, he will have scouts going ahead, and they will spot the army coming, and they might have time to turn around.
I'm thinking they're just going to be the first snacks for him, but yeah, let's try and be positive instead of my usual cheerful self.
At this point, as much as trying to convince the prince to turn around would be good, I want to prioritize Nordgard.
I think we need to go there first. And
We need to let the councilwoman, we need to give her a heads up, so
Yes.
maybe she can look into it and convince the other council members to pay attention.
War leader, my tribe and my family are with the prince. I convinced them to swear fealty to him, thinking that it would help us survive the attack from the undead. Please.
Did they though?
I don't know, but please, can we try to convince him to turn around again? This is my family.
Tempus, I know that, but
I mean, you can, but then tomorrow we have to let the city know.
Yes, tomorrow.
I'm more worried about reinforcements for the bloody horde coming at us.
In which case, letting the city know would be a priority.
No, it's making sure the prince doesn't add to the damn thing.
All I need is a small bird, and I can try to let the city know. I'll go into the woods and try to find one
No,
right now.
Do we?
Tempus,
Well, we've got a druid, do we not?
Ranger, no
No.
druids.
oh, councilman. What's his name? There's 5 council members, and one wasn't present. It was the druid.
Yeah, the druid, Grizz Ferg, has not been present on council and usually doesn't come in unless there's issues that need a tiebreaker.
If we could get a message to Grisberg, if he's around the forest, he might know what's going on already anyway. But this might convince him to come in and be another member of the council to
know him.
who might be on our side. Messages need to go out. I don't care who they go to, but messages need to go out.
Tempus is going to sit down and start ritual casting Speak with Animals immediately. You guys have 10 minutes without him.
It's up to you, Miri. Either you try and convince Artemius to turn around, or you warn the councilwoman Bell now. And then tomorrow, whoever you don't talk to today gets the rest. If convincing the prince to turn around is that important, I would do that first. But I don't want the city to go ignored any much longer.
I'll talk to Councilwoman Bell now, and then we can turn back towards the city.
We're a day away from the temple. We can't afford to waste days backtracking.
We're committed. That's why these messages are so important.
Message to Councilwoman Bell.
Okay, what are you saying?
The goblins of Sharp Tree Tribe are coming to reinforce Nordgard. There are flesh takers to the north and a vast undead army to the south. Prepare defenses, all defenses, or Nordgard will fall. Do I have any more words left?
Oh, you ran out of words a while before you finished that. Let me just see here. The message that you sent says, the goblins of Sharp Tree Tribe are coming to reinforce Nordgard. There are flesh takers to the north and a vast army of undead to the...
Can I try rephrasing it?
You immediately get a response. Nordgard is already under assault from the east. Countless undead, as far as the eye can see. Ammunition depleted. Praying nothing from the west. Defenseless.
So it sounds like everything's already lost.
No, it isn't. If we can get to the temple and force your mother and the clerics there to see reason, then we can reinforce the city with a force of clerics. We bear the weapons of Sharo and Dowreth both. Things are not lost. We have the tools that we need. As long as the city can hold, we will push on and we will come to their aid.
We've sent the goblins probably to their deaths, though.
And I regret that, sincerely.
You can send them a message tomorrow. They won't make it there tomorrow.
Gherkin can be spoke to.
Aye. Alright, tomorrow morning I'll speak with Gherkin.
We still have a full day ourselves to deal with. Let us not dwell on gloomy thoughts, but cast ourselves in a perspective of hope, and we can make a difference. We will make a difference.
We'll tell the Sharp Tree Tribe to turn around and come meet us again.
They're behind us. They can't turn around and come meet us. They are slower than us.
Yes, but they can turn around and come back towards us.
We can intercept them as they go.
I would just warn them of what they're going towards. They are followers of Tempus. They probably would set up and prepare for battle.
Yes.
But if they have a heads up of what they're walking into, they won't just walk into it.
Yes.
We still have a day of our own to deal with. Let us focus on what we need to do now, rather than dwell on what we can't deal with. And then I get up, look around, and I dispel the hut, and I start grabbing it and putting it back on the cart, and harness Chewie to it.
Yaereene will start picking up stuff as well.
Having cast Speak with Animals, Tempus is going to just bellow at the top of his lungs like, any beasts of the field or birds of the air, any creatures at all, come out and talk with me, I am a friend.
You receive no response.
Oh, creepy.
After a minute of waiting, I'll turn to Chewie and say, Chewie, you're a damn good mule. Don't let anyone ever talk down to you. I was very, very honored to have you carry me, and if we get through this, you will be honored and cared for the rest of your days.
He nuzzles up against you in appreciation.
Hey now, don't get too affectionate or I'll eat you.
Backs away.
I just... What do I even do?
Miri, there's plenty we can do. We are still able to do things. Do not lose hope. Losing hope is the first step to giving in. We have to maintain hope. We have to know we can do things, and we can. And we especially can with you.
Terra, the only home I've ever known is under siege and losing.
And we're going to do something about that.
We're going somewhere else.
Miri, do you want to go to the temple or do you want to go to the city?
You've already said it's too far to go to the city.
It's not as long to go to the city if we don't stop at the temple.
And we can move day and night. We're strong. By taking turns and conserving our resources, we can keep the cart moving as long as we are able, as long as our bodies can move.
Tempus, you wanted to deal with my mother, and the others were here, and I don't understand what there is here anymore.
Well, I mean, you became a cleric of Tempus. Maybe we could convince your mother that even if Foltez isn't here, she can join us and help get him back.
Mother got something that answered.
Yes, and I told you that I believe it to be either Sharo or Dowreth, the evil deities that are kidnapping the rest of the gods. So, if we offer them an alternative, then surely they will agree to that. I don't believe that your mother could have changed so drastically in such a short period of time. Conversely, we can just beat them unto unconsciousness and force them to fight for us.
Miri, don't forget, we've got Tempus and Tempus with us. So if Tempus all of a sudden starts talking to your mother, it may drive the message home a little bit more.
Dumb question, but isn't Tempus, capital T, Tempus, currently being hunted by the ones that are killing all the gods?
Well, yes, but by making me his avatar, he's able to empower his followers, and, I mean, he's cool. He's in it for the fight. He knows the stakes. He has absolutely no objection to taking risks.
Right, but if Miri's mom follows one of them that's trying to kill you, maybe don't let them know he's there?
Okay, I see that. So it's like, it's a high risk, high reward situation if he actually comes out and uses. All right. Let me think on it.
I fear not the mortal followers of the old gods. Ha 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 ha!
Well, it's nice to know you're subtle.
It sounds like you'll want to go to the temple. If we go to the temple and you still want to send a message to scheme is tomorrow, what I would suggest is you tell him that the Sword Guard's under siege. Because if he's not at his city yet, he should be at least try to come back to Nordgard and help them. I doubt they were under attack when he left, because why would he leave then?
How many weeks does it take to get to another city from Nordgard?
A very long time.
I don't think there's any other cities other than Nordgard right now.
So he'd be out in the middle of the snow. This isn't a good time for traveling.
When you're desperate, you do stupid things.
Yes, I know. So certainly we should try to convince Bartimus. We should try to convince His Highness to return to Nordgard and add his swords.
Yes. And we agreed to that for tomorrow.
Aye.
Yes.
We need to decide where we are going. Are we continuing the 2 days trek to the temple, or are we altering it? It'll take about 3.5 days. 4 to get to Nordgard?
Ryan?
It would take you about 3.5 days to get to Nordgard from where you are.
If we were to use like forced marches with people resting on top of the cart, so we don't take exhaustion, how much can we cut the time?
You can only have one person sleeping in the back of the cart at a time with all the gear that you have. So it would depend on exhaustion checks for everybody, including Chewie.
In which case we're useless at either place.
Yeah.
I don't care which place we go to. I just want a decision and we go.
I vote for the temple.
I do as well. If we can get a powerful cleric to help, that could help save Nordgard.
Miri?
What powerful cleric do you think you're going to get?
Your ma!
If your mum is raising dead people, she's got some power.
And there's also you. You're very, very strong. We've all gotten stronger since we've met one another.
Yes, and there's the Sharp Tree Tribe's leader, whom we already know is on our side.
Yes, but they're going a different direction. Where are we going?
They're going to Nordgard.
Where are we going? It's your city and your mother.
I think Mother's given up on the city.
Well, it sounds like you have too. You can't make a decision. You already said it was lost.
I want to help the city.
All right, then we go to the city. That's it. No more dilly-dallying. Off we go.
Okay. So the fastest route back to the city is probably going overland to the road, going across the forest to there, and then it would be about a day's travel back. So you might be able to do, 3.5 days sounds about right.
Do we want to try and push until Chewie takes exhaustion the first day?
Yes. If our decision has been made and we are going to rush to the relief of the temple, then we should rush. Chewie is the war mule. He can abide.
Can I bardic inspiration a mule? Ryan?
I was just looking it up. It says one creature other than yourself, so I think the mule counts.
Chewie is a valuable member of this party and has proven it many times. Okay, so when it comes to the first round of exhaustion checks, I am going to bardic inspiration Chewie.
Okay, so you travel over the course of the day. Yaereene, can you give me a survival check, please?
Nice.
Oh, sweet.
You are seeing signs of life in this area and finding tracks along the way. It all appears to be animal in nature. And the tracks that you're finding are heading east.
So, in other words, there was no signs of life as we neared the temple, and everything that we're seeing as we leave that area is fleeing the temple area.
That's correct.
Comforting, thank you.
Do you voice that?
Oh yeah, I'm telling you all about the dead things and the live things.
I'm sorry, Miri.
Well, that doesn't bode well for things going on at the temple either. That's telling that there's issues at the temple as well.
I
just want to know as a player, how much does this alter our course to the temple? Like how many days?
Not much. You start seeing signs of this fairly early into the day, so it wouldn't change your time frame to the temple much.
If we still want to go to the city, I understand because the city is one of my priorities as well. But I do not like the fact that there were no signs of life as we got closer to the temple. If there's life still close to the city, that is a good sign. But I don't like the fact that there's no trail towards the temple.
The fact that everything's dead if you go there is bad. Or at least that nothing's alive. We don't know everything's dead, we just know nothing's alive.
The question is, do we go face undead at the temple, or do we go face undead and fight our way into the city?
We might have better look at the temple right now.
The city needs our help to back it up.
And what if there's something bad at the temple that's going to totally crap on the city?
Miri, I love your optimism. Like when we were going to go rescue a god. How do we save a city from thousands of undead?
Don't know.
Well, my first plan is to strap the Doom Star and the Day Star to me and drop me in the middle of them, and they'll die before I do.
No.
I don't like that plan.
It's kind of handing them what they really want to have.
I'm just bringing this up because I feel like with that knowledge, it might still be more worth going to the temple. But if the majority of you still want to go to the city, we will go to the city.
I would like to go to the temple.
I want to at least start with, we have a new day, and hang on. We have a new day, right?
Yeah.
Not yet. No, you're about an hour into this day after you sent the messages.
We're basically before lunch.
And I'm bringing this up now because the farther we head towards the city, the less easy it is to backtrack. And we're already seeing signs of like towards the city, at least in the forest, there's more life, which means something is not promising at the temple. And now I and Ysmyr feel like that's a clear sign that there's something we need to address there.
And,
all right.
and
So
we might be able to tackle that
to protect the city's western front.
Yeah, and I don't know that we have anything that can help against countless undead from the east.
All right. I do want to be able to message. I keep forgetting the goblin elder's name. Gurkum. Okay. And then I also want to message His Highness again. So as soon as we get a long rest and a new day, I want to send those messages.
Okay, but it's before lunch now. We go into the city, or we doubling back to the temple?
Okay.
Let's get on it.
So, quick summary of where everybody thinks we want to go. I believe that at present, Yaereene and I are still in favor of the temple. Katiara, you're in favor of the city. Miri, are you in favor of the city?
Now with the pointing out of things, I am seeing that, okay, maybe there's something in the temple that's getting ready to attack the city, and we should go stop that before the city is attacked from the west.
Ysmyr, where are you at?
Basically, her mind has swapped from the city to the west, to dealing with the temple, because if something comes from the west, the city is screwed.
Basically, we've got 3 for the temple right now.
You have, I think, 4.5 out of 5 for the temple right now. So, pitter patter, let's get at her. We turn around and start heading for the temple.
Yep.
Okay.
Bringing it up now because we still have time to not have an extra day to get back to the temple.
Now, with us doing the forced march, still, does it go to a day and a half, or are we still 2 days, or what?
It depends on how many hours you manage to put in before you stop. Like, when you guys have done this in the past, you've made it an extra 3 or 4 hours, I think up to 6 once. So it really depends on how hard you push yourselves and what your rolls are like.
Okay, like I said, I've already burnt a bardic inspiration on Chewy when he does his.
So yeah, if you guys want to do a forced march, everybody's going to be rolling exhaustion checks, except for one person who's in the back of the cart.
And that's a con check, right?
DC 11 for the first one.
Ysmyr has proficiency with land vehicles, so she's probably driving a lot.
That'll still require an exhaustion check.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. She's probably not the one in the back.
After my 1 hour short rest, I'm on the ground and walking. Tiara, given your neuralgia, why don't you get in the cart and the rest of us will roll the checks?
And we'll swap out with you if necessary.
All right.
My roll was for Chewie, and he passed with flying colors.
Sorry, that's a con check?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I should probably roll it from my character sheet. Did that work?
Yep.
It was a 6 plus whatever.
Yeah. So, Miri, you have 1 level of exhaustion.
Oh, lovely.
Okay.
Okay, so I hop off the cart and help Miri on.
Okay. I have to figure out where to mark that exhaustion.
Under conditions, click on there, scroll to the bottom, and there's levels of exhaustion.
Level 1 isn't too horrid.
But yeah, we continue on. So, do we arrive at the temple in the evening, Ryan, or?
You're an hour closer out of what would be another 8-hour trip tomorrow.
If it's a full 8 hours, I say shut down and let me just cast a tiny hut.
I think that makes sense.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
We'll have the time to plan on the journey there as to how we will engage the temple, and by the time we finish convincing them to come help the city, it'll be time for another rest. So that works.
And Miri will have recovered from her exhaustion.
Yep,
Yes.
and I can rearrange my spells as well. Let's see, hold person might be useful.
Miri, you also wanted to talk to lots of people, so remember to save some talking spells.
Yeah, I only have 2 talking spells. That's as many as I can have.
Sounds good. Just wanted to remind you.
Yep. I can mess around with my 2nd level spells. Calm emotions might be useful.
Okay. So, Tiara sets up the tiny hut. You guys pack in for the night, and it is eerily quiet all night long.
Can I sense if there's any live humanoids within 5 miles again?
There are none.
I hate it when it's only us.
Are we more than 5 miles from the temple?
Yes.
Okay.
That's, definitely not boding well. I think as hard of a decision as it was, we're making the right one right now.
Okay. So the night passes uneventfully. You guys can get your long rests in. And what are you doing in the morning?
I'll do another check for life of humanoids.
You're still alone?
I'll report that.
We're in the morning now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sending off messages before we do anything else, I assume?
Well, yes, but I am also preparing some spells.
Okay, but we need to know what messages you're sending.
Yep. Does anyone else have detect spells? Like detect magic, detect evil and good, detect poison?
No.
Me.
Okay.
I would like to know what your sending messages are because you can pick your spells while we go.
Okay.
We know you have sending prepared, so that helps.
Sending messages. First, to Gurkham. A warning.
Yep.
Nordgard is under undead attack. Enter through the west gate if possible, and be prepared to join the fight. Do I have words left?
Yes, you have 6 words left.
If you've communicated all that you have to, you don't need to hit all of the words.
I'm trying to figure out a basic good blessing.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about that. I would just send the message.
Tempus is the best.
Or good luck.
Yep. May your weapons strike true.
Okay.
And basically, I did tell Counselor Bell yesterday that I was sending her some goblins as support. I don't know if she understood, but I told her.
So a response comes in and says, "Thank you for the warning. Gurkham will guide the Sharp Tree tribe into glorious battle for Tempus made flesh."
Okay.
I figured they'd go for the battle part.
Yep. At least they know that they're walking into battle now. And now to His Highness. Highness, you're walking into a field of undead and Nordgard is under attack. Please retreat.
Okay, anything else? You've got 10 words left.
You're
Massive field of undead. Nordgard needs help.
You receive a response. We have already gained the ships and have set sail for the Empire of the Sun. We have seen no sign of undead on the...
Did that cut off because he ran out of words, or...
Yes.
Oh, so he doesn't understand how the message works.
Makes sense. He's not a cleric. On the one hand, we're pretty clear that we're not getting reinforcements from him, but if my
They're
tribe
not
is,
dead.
yeah, if my tribe is with him, then that means that they're not about to walk into the horde. That's a relief.
Okay, so the prince is out on the sea.
They might have better luck getting to their city from the sea.
They might. I have no idea what that's going to do for anything, but it also means there's no further reinforcements for Nordgard.
That's not true. There's the Sharp Tree tribe, and after we return your mother and the former clerics of Fultis to the right side, there'll be them and us.
I said further. I was counting the Sharp Tree tribe as already part of the reinforcements.
Right.
And us.
Yeah.
Well, we've done what we can.
Alright, so now it's time to make sure nothing comes at Nordgard from the west.
Yeah, so let's get going.
And Miri, you can finish picking your spells for the day.
I did. I just switched around and decided I'm using Hold Person.
That's probably a good one.
Okay, so you guys are heading southwest to the Temple of the Sun. Yaereene, could you give me a survival check, please?
Nice. Good
As
roll.
As you approach the edge of the forest, you are seeing signs of trees being cut down and dragged towards the Temple of the Sun. You also see signs of nearby hills, being cleared of snow and stone being worked.
Can I tell what sort of creatures made the tracks?
Give me another survival check.
Tempus will help. Can she roll at advantage?
Sure. The tracks are obscured quite heavily by the trees that they're moving around, and the stone that's being dragged out, literally just dragged out, and they're not using carts or anything. So, I mean, you get the odd glimpse of like a humanoid track, but that's about it. You can't really make sense of
I
them.
ask if we can stop here for a moment in the trees still.
Absolutely.
And I see if I can sense any humanoids within 5 miles.
You do.
Oh, thank goodness. Live ones?
That's the only kind you can sense.
I know, this is exciting.
You do sense that there are humanoids in the direction that you're traveling towards the temple.
How many are there?
Moment, please. You sense 4.
Okay. And now just using logic, given the amount of snow that's been cleared off of hillsides and the number of trees that have been downed, how many days do I think it would take for humanoids to be able to do that?
Probably a good week, maybe 2.
And when did it last snow?
3 days ago.
Correct me if my logic is wrong, but would that mean that more than 4 humanoids helped with this?
Probably.
Yeah, I convey all of that to the rest of the group.
I think we need to get closer and see what's going on.
Is there any cover, Ryan, if we wanted to try and sneak up on the temple?
There are no longer any trees on the hill with the temple, so it would be tricky.
We can all see this, or is this just Yaereene seeing this?
You can
I
all
guess
see.
she's describing it. That looks like preparations for. It's like they're preparing for a fortress or something.
Yes, it sounds like it seems
you-
to me like they're defending.
Yes, you clear the trees, you can see farther. That's a lot of work for just some clerics.
And it's more work than the people that I can sense can do.
That's not something that would normally... Most of this is not how they would behave.
Yes,
I think we need to see what else is there.
we shouldn't rush to judgment until we found out exactly what is going on, but through virtue and strength, I have every confidence we can do this, Miri. Don't give in to fear.
But be safe and cautious, which is what I'm trying to convey. There may be undead helping, or they may have lost most of their forces in the last day or so. Neither is great, but let's be prepared.
Yes, I don't. This doesn't look like something. None of the clerics who lived in Nord were particularly. This is something that a cleric of war would build. This looks like it's a temple to Tempus, or to one of the more warlike gods. This does not look like a temple to a god of light.
Well, we don't know for sure who's in there.
True.
I think we need to get closer
Yes.
and look around.
There's not a lot of easy ways to sneak in there. The only potential option would be at night, which has its own perils.
Perhaps we approach from the front. If I deliver a challenge while the rest of you look on from a period of safety, we could ambush any hostile intent or lure them out for an honest parley, face to face.
Or we wait till night, and perhaps Yaereene and I go ahead and take a look. And once we feel a little more confident or uncertain, we can make a decision.
The god within me does speak of scouting and of good intelligence. I can support that plan.
I would go with you.
I could go too.
Katiara, I don't mean to be insensitive, but is that wise given your current illness?
I keep forgetting. Thank you. I just kind of crumple down.
No, I'm
Yaereene
sorry.
just sits and hugs you.
Tiara, if you're sure you can sneak and be useful that way, and scout, that is fine. It just becomes a concern when it's defending yourself if we got spotted.
I understand. I just find it hard not being able to contribute like I feel I could. And yeah, I just keep forgetting.
Well, that's why if you get spotted, I suggest you just learn to run like hell. So if you want to come, that's fine. Just be ready to run.
Okay, so Ryan, just to be positive, doing a stealth roll would not throw a neuralgia check?
No, it's not an action, I don't think. It's just
Okay, so I can do that, get up there, and then if they get into trouble, I can throw Bardic Inspiration and be able to bug out.
okay.
All right, so your words are wise, war leader. I'll follow your plan. So I need to roll stealth now.
Okay, so I just want to be clear. Everybody is stealthing up the hill towards the Temple of the Sun.
No.
Okay.
I think Miri and I would be following you guys up until the point that we feel exposed. So
Which is the tree line where we're at right now.
okay.
Yeah.
I only got an 11 on my stealth.
It's a good 2 hours to the temple from the tree line, just so you know.
We might not make it all the way to the temple. We're just going for more information.
Okay. So as you approach the hill, you are...
And I think we were waiting for night as well, Ryan.
Yeah.
So darkness falls. The moon is out tonight. So you still have a little bit of light. But a quick scout shows that the hill is a difficult climb going up the north face. But you do know that there's the road that you followed on the south face of the hill to get up to the temple before.
I don't know if we want to risk the road.
Can I use my tracking abilities to try and find the best path up the hill without using the road?
Sure. Give me a survival check.
Nice.
Yeah, you do manage to find a way. in game mechanics terms, it would be about a DC 10 climb check or athletics check to make it up that path.
Okay. Do you want stealth or athletics first?
Let's do athletics.
You want that from all of us, or
Anybody
is
who's
Yaereene going up ahead? What was that?
anybody who's going up the hill.
Athletics, you said? Okay. And that did. Oh, there it is. I'm not surprised.
Okay. So Ysmyr isn't able to follow Yaereene and Katiara up the hill.
I'll just keep an eye out at the base. I can see farther than the others anyway.
Okay. I'm going to pull Katiara and Yaereene to a new map.
All right.
Okay. So you can't really see anything at this point. I'll move you forward until you can. Okay. So you come up to the top of the hill and you can see part of the Temple of the Sun.
Okay, I want to be crouched down. I don't want to be highly visible. And I'd like to watch for tracks as much as possible. Ideally, I'm trying to be able to determine if any of the tracks I can see look like the shuffling stride we found from undead, or look like sprightly people walk, or even tired people. That's the
Okay.
first thing I'm trying to determine.
Survival check. Okay. There are a lot of tracks in the area. All around the temple, right up to the walls that you can see. There's a lot of tracks, and it's a mix. Some of them are booted feet, but you also do see some skeletal types of feet in the area.
Okay, I'll make a gesture to Katiara, trying to explain that, like skull and crossbones, death symbol. I may just freak him out.
Okay.
I look over, tap my nose, and go, relax. We know there's a lot of crap up here. We'll get through it.
Okay.
Okay, we're not in initiative. So I'm going to say I have my movement, and I'm going to go to there.
Katiara, as you get closer to the building, you see a stack of trees to the south of you, all kind of just piled up, and that's what that brown rectangle is that you're seeing as you approach.
Okay. Yaereene see it?
And she can now.
And I'm looking, and it looks like I'm like around 15 feet from a building or walls.
About 10 feet. Yeah, there's walls of a building there.
Can we hear anything?
Perception checks.
20.
You do both hear at this point the sounds of hammering to the south.
Can we tell how far?
I don't know if you would know exactly how far it is, but it sounds like there's multiple hammer hits coming from the distance.
Basically, far away or close is kind of what I was wondering.
How do you define far away or close?
I.e., if I go 30 feet, am I going to run into it?
Bang, 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 bang.
You don't think you're going to run into it too soon?
But in a little while.
All right, so I turn to Yaereene and kind of cock my eyebrow quizzically and kind of shrug my shoulders.
Okay, I'm going to sneak up, trying to stay in the shadow of the wall.
Have we given stealth checks yet?
No, but you can give me stealth checks now.
Okay, I am going into stealth, and it sucked.
Don't worry,
10.
you had company.
40, yes.
Well, I liked that first skeleton a lot better than I liked the second one, Ryan.
Uh-huh. You note as you start approaching a little bit closer that one of the hammers appears to have stopped.
I freeze.
Yaereene, do we keep going south or do we go west along the side of the building?
Freeze.
Aye.
And I just wait. Does the hammer start picking up again?
No. Can you give me another perception check?
Both or just her?
Nope. The
All
beating
up
of my
9.
heart is blocking out anything else.
You don't hear anything.
Do we take the chance? I mean, we're hoping that we can convince them to be with us? Yaereene?
Sorry, just thinking.
Okay, I'm looking
We know there's-
around. I'm looking around this corner, and do I see any windows? Do I see any openings in walls?
You don't see any windows. Everything appears to have been boarded up.
So in essence, we're looking at a full-on assault from what we see so far.
Or making ourselves apparent as we start negotiations.
Right, and Miri's mom will welcome us cheerfully in. It will be great.
Perception checks, please.
Oh, lordy.
Is the single hammer that was banging before still going, or have all hammers ceased?
One of the hammers is still going.
Finally, something decent. 16. Ah, we see a friend.
Initiative, please.
Oh, dear.
I've got to start up the battle thing first. Just a second. Okay. You should be able to select the dice and the combat tracker now.
Just getting through it. Okay, so initiative.
If you look at... Okay, that didn't register. I'm not sure if I can manually put in an initiative. If you look at the menu options at the top right in Forge, there's the fist, and that will show you the battle tracker or the combat tracker. And in there, you'll see your character with the dice beside it. Just click on that D20.
Okay, I rolled a 5, and it's got me at the bottom right now out of everything.
I don't...
It's at the bottom because you have to roll that die that's in there. Yep.
Okay,
Perfect.
so I rolled it, and I'm still at the bottom.
Yep. So as the skeleton comes shambling around the corner over this pile of trees, you see it draw its sword and open its mouth to scream, and you just hear this faint, low rattling sound that echoes around the area, and it comes forward to attack. Yaereene, does a 15 hit?
Hang on. Did it actually scream yet?
Yes, that was the first thing it did.
Cutting words can't stop it. Cutting words can't stop it from screaming, can it? It just changes the roll on an attack. Okay, yeah, no.
And no, that doesn't hit.
Okay, so the skeleton shambles up and tries to stab you with its short sword, but fails.
The first thing Yaereene will do is say, Richter, do we need to run?
Who's Richter?
Sigh.
Anyways, realistically, KTR is like, I don't want to run. Let's see if we can dance with the critter a bit. I want to go a few bits and see if we can defeat this and keep pressing on a bit more.
Okay, I'll attack. Does a 17 hit?
I see 22.
Oh yeah, because I've got a plus. Pardon me.
But
I just
yes, you definitely hit it, and your short sword kind of slides through its rib cage, but it does take some damage from it.
Okay. I'll do my offhand attack.
Why did it put it to unconscious?
I don't know, but I like it.
There we go.
That is less fun. Okay, that should only have not as much damage because it doesn't get my bonus for my offhand. So -4.
Okay, so it would have been 5 cut in half. Okay.
Sorry, I'm just trying to keep my characters all straight, and I'm trying to figure out if I have an extra attack or not.
No problem.
Level 5, we totally do.
Well, some people do. My druid definitely doesn't, and it was highly disappointing.
Sure, rangers get an extra attack at 5th level.
I will attack again then.
And that hits again.
Excellent.
Anything else on your turn? I guess that's an action and a bonus action. Yeah.
I'm done.
All right, Keitiara, what are you going to do?
All right, I'm moving to give her flanking. I throw a bardic inspiration on her, and do I actually try at a frickin' attack or not? Keitiara is like, I'm actually going to go into defensive mode rather to stave off just being a useless twitching pile. Holy crap, 3 other skeletons? I don't see them yet, so that's what I'm doing.
Okay, so you're taking the dodge action?
Yeah, I'm going to take the dodge in case it turns around and attacks me. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Can you give me a con save DC 15?
22. 22. I think I passed it.
Yeah, I just didn't. I'm not seeing the dice roll. But anyway, yeah, 22 is good. You're still on your feet and dodging. Okay. It is going to continue to try to attack Yaereene. And does a 16 hit?
A 16 does.
Okay, you take 8 points of piercing damage as the skeleton stabs you.
Okie dokie. So is the extra attack considered a bonus action? Because I did find that I do have one, but it doesn't show up under my bonus actions.
Your offhand counts as a bonus action for attack, but your attack just counts as one action for 2 attacks.
Thank you. And it is looking injured, but not that much. That's my main hand attack.
The hit.
And my offhand. So 2 damage.
You do realize you had advantage because I was on the other side, giving you flanking.
Okay, I think I hit in all cases, Ryan. Would you let me roll 3 times to make sure I didn't get a crit?
You can if you want to, but it is going to die with that last attack anyway.
Okay, excellent. Dead is good.
I thought you would think so.
Yeah, I'm happy to not roll.
All right. Anything else on your turn?
Checking if we should be leaving now. Still, the party splitting has not.
So you're speaking this?
Very quietly.
I don't know. We took care of one skeleton, but I don't know if there's more about or not. I'm trying not to metagame because it's showing me skeletons.
Yelled, and I've seen way more footprints.
Did you see way more footprints?
Yes.
Yeah, there's
He showed
lots
of dead footprints. Lots of undead.
And that's going to be about all the conversation that you can fit in at this point.
Okay.
And so it's going to be K-Tiara's turn.
We bug out. We got to tell the rest, and we come in force.
Okay. Yeah, you guys can run away, no problem. I won't make the combat continue.
Can I try and cover our tracks as we're leaving?
With like pass without trace or something?
I think at this point in time, yes.
Okay.
So I used one of my spell slots for it. So at least we can't be tracked back to the party.
I'm back on the master map instead of below map.
Yep. So you guys get back down the hill to Ysmyr and
gather her up and go to the rest of the people.
Okay. So it's fairly late at night by the time you guys get back. If Yaereene, K-Tiara, and Ysmyr want to continue on for the night, there will be exhaustion checks.
We just want to convey everything that happened and sleep and go in the morning.
Indeed.
Okay.
What happened? Are you hurt?
Only a little bit.
Well, there's undead up there for sure. We came across a skeleton, and there was indications of many more. And with me being as wonky as I am, I didn't want to put Yaereene in a situation of danger because I'm useless.
There's a fair amount of undead tracks there.
So we came back down, figuring it's better to tell you what's up than dying up there for no purpose.
2 things. 1, you're not useless, and I will not tolerate you speaking like that. After all, you're dating my mother, you're not allowed to be useless. 2, I'm glad you got back safely. What's our next move?
It didn't look like any easy way in. They've fortified the windows and entrances. We either fight our way in, or Miri, hope your mom is still happy to be talking to you and not wanting to kill any of us. And Yaereene looks like that is the most words. She is stunned. She said so many words.
And the question is, is it fortified because they're still in there resisting? Or is it still fortified because they got in somewhere else and they're all changed?
There's only 4 left. Let's plan for the worst.
Like, you can sense humans, and you did still sense living humans in this area, right?
Is it still 4, Ryan?
Yes.
So I'll say that.
So there is hope, and I'd rather hope rather than being just a gloomy Gus.
I agree. So, how do we wish to engage then? By stealth and combat, or attempt to parley?
I think the closer we get without being detected, the better.
I would say from the fact that the windows are boarded up and all that, they're not very keen on joining the undead. So it's more about like kicking the ass of the undead around there, getting through, and I think they'd be partial to parley.
Yaereene twitches but doesn't say anything.
Well, then, how about we take it from two fronts? If myself and maybe some backup approach from the front and attempt to parley, that might distract them while the rest of you enter from the side.
There's no open entrances, so we would have to fight our way into an entrance, like break down, unless somebody opened it.
You climbed in initially, didn't you?
Not into the
No,
actual...
we were outside. We were just on the plateau.
Does anyone have a rope and a grapnel?
Well, that's how we got up.
So do you think you could scale the wall?
But Tempus, they've built back up the walls to the actual temple itself. Getting into the temple is going to be problematic.
Okay, out of game it might be that I'm just not understanding the lay of the land, but if like
Temple has a roof on it, they've now barred the doors and windows.
Yes, so is there not like a side wall that you could try scaling to get in?
Well, the side wall would still go to a spot that had a roof. We would need...
So you climb
It's
on
like
the
your
roof.
house. If I climbed on the roof of the house, I'm still on the outside of the roof of the house.
But if you went around to the side, you might be able to climb up and at least, I don't know, try to get into there from the side in some way. Okay, if it's not going to work.
Okay, it sounds like Jesse, you're talking about a wall in a ring around the place, and Callie, you're talking about like walls of the temple itself.
Yes, and Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, but what I saw was the walls to the temple itself, doors and windows have been boarded and fortified.
That's right. You didn't see any exterior wall, like a wall to guard the temple or anything like that. It's just the temple walls.
Okay, then insertion probably doesn't work. I apologize.
No, I would have liked it if it would have.
I honestly don't like the idea of separating and splitting the party. I think we do our best work when we're all together. We all have strengths and unique abilities when we work together. Now the question is, do we go in through the front or do we climb up again and try to get close to that workshop foundry where we spotted the skeletons when we came in with me and Yaereene?
If we get up
Why
to
do we want to get close to the foundry?
I'm just thinking that's a spot that we got scouted a bit and we've gotten an idea of what's there. I am open to just going through the front door as well, because then we don't have to dink around with being able to climb up. However, they're obviously going to be prepared for the front, and they may not be from the foundry.
let's talk for a second. Like we all have like a lot of little details that we can get into with our different abilities and stuff, but let's maybe talk about two of the big actions first. Are we going up to the front or are we sneaking in? I'm in favor of taking a frontal entrance.
I can help give us stealth with my spell, getting there if we want. Obviously harder in the middle of the daylight, but happy to try.
I would like to try and sneak just so that we can get, because we don't know what changes during the day, right? So I would like to try and get a better idea of what we're walking into, basically. But if we get spotted, then it's like, all right, let's go.
Tiara, how do you feel? Sneak or assault?
Do you really think it is best to just throw ourselves against what is probably going to be the strongest defense, or we try and go around and try and hit on a weaker spot?
The temple isn't much of a fortress per se. It's a big building with a fortified wall. If we try to enter and are engaged at any point, the number of our foes will start to matter. If we start from the entrance and cannot get in, we can back up. If we start from the entrance, there is a greater chance of parlaying before we have to get into a fight. If we start at the front, then we can control their numbers coming out of the front and make a decision whether or not we need to retreat then, rather than getting deep within and then getting into a fight.
All right. If we're going to do a frontal assault, do we go with the subtlety of me using knock on the bleeding door?
If it,
What are we?
Yes.
But are you down with a frontal assault? Like, at this point, if you decide that we should sneak in, that's 3 votes for sneaking in. That's a majority. That's what we're doing.
Oh, we can sneak to the front door.
Yeah, like I want to sneak as close as possible before we start making any big shows. Because we might be able to sneak right to the front door and sneak in too.
All right. Now, the question is, you do realize when I try and throw knock as a spell, that is a check against my neuralgia.
Oh.
So sneaking would work better.
Like I'm up here, I want to support, I can throw support with bardic inspirations and moving to give you guys flanking benefits. But me being active is a very questionable possibility.
Well, here's the nice thing. Knocking also happens with a hand.
Sorry?
You don't need to cast knock.
Depends if the front door is locked or not.
Yeah, like I wouldn't worry about that until we know. Because as far as we know, we might be spotted beforehand too, and then we have to fight, and you're a twitching mess anyway.
Well, and the other thing is, the big question is are the humans that are there opposing the undead or working with the undead? And Ryan, you didn't mention any hint of me seeing conflict outside in the tracks outside. So if they are, they're resisting by being inside, and we don't know if the undead made it inside or not.
You, like I said, you saw booted footprints and skeletal footprints outside, and there were lots of tracks.
Oh, so we do know that the people were booted outside, or at least somebody was booted outside with the undead.
Yeah, like you've seen zombies walking around with boots on too, so it doesn't necessarily mean anything.
There's just something around, and I'm against just barging headlong into it.
I'm against assuming that the humans are on our side.
Yeah.
So, KTR, do you want to sneak in?
In for a penny, in for a pound. Let's go.
Okay, I think we're sneaking in. So,
And if we get spotted and have to fight, we can fight then or whatever. Run, barge, whatever. It's just I'd rather get close before we face stuff.
Okay, so are you guys sneaking in the back or up the front road?
I think that if our intent is to enter by stealth, we want to go in through the back, yeah? That would be going up the hill, correct?
Yep.
Working together, I see no reason why we can't do it, assuming we reach it.
So there is going to be a climb check. You can use either athletics or acrobatics, DC 10.
Can we use rope to help people with it too?
Yeah, if you use rope, if you get somebody up there with rope, then it's pretty much an automatic climb.
Okay,
I have
See
rope.
who gets up there first.
I'll maybe go first. Now, Ryan, just to confirm with you, I've had at least 4 rests since I've been resurrected, I believe. I've been keeping count, and I believe it's exactly 4. So all of my penalties from being resurrected should now be removed.
Okay.
Okay, then Tempus will go ahead and give an athletics check to get up there first. Do you want like a stealth check as well, or?
Nope, just athletics for now. No problem.
He'll carry a rope up, and he'll use it to help people climbing up, whether that's securing it or even just pulling them up.
Yep. Okay, so everybody gets up the hill, no problem, and you approach the temple in the day. I'm going to pull you all to the map.
Okay.
Fancy schmancy.
So, now that you guys are up here, what are you going to do?
Can you describe it a little bit to us? It looks like it's just walls all around us. Is that about right? Gray walls?
That's correct. The walls of the temple stand in good repair. You note that it looks in much better shape than the last time you were here. Any holes in the walls have been patched either with boards, raw wood, or even stone in some places. All of the windows have been boarded up in the entire building that you can see. And that's about it.
If the party stays still and listens carefully, is there any chance that we have of trying to perceive anybody that might be in the area on the other side of the wall?
You can give me perception checks. So you guys do hear the sound of hammering coming from the far side of the building.
Those were skeletons last time.
They're making a lot of ruckus. Do you want me to climb the wall and let down a rope for the rest of you?
Can I sense the humans still? Or the humanoids?
Yes, you still sense 4 humanoids in the area.
I generally have, it says I have a direction. Can I tell where they're, the general direction that they're coming from? Or they're
Just a
there?
direction?
It says direction, distance in miles, so I'll only have direction at this point, and number.
There are 2 to the east. Here, I'll ping the outside of the building so you can see.
Ow.
There's 2 in there.
Okay.
There's 1 in this room right ahead of you.
Okay.
And then 1 quite a bit further away to the south. Not a mile or anything, but definitely far
separate.
removed from the rest. Yes.
So not huddled together, defending. I let people know, do we want to try and find the single one nearby or the 2 together nearby?
I'll smile fiendishly and suggest we go pay a visit to the one who's on his own.
I would say we try and get a better scope of the land first.
I'd rather deal with 1 than 2.
Okay. So this guy?
Yeah, they're directly ahead of us and in the building ahead of us if we can get in there.
Oh, I say we stealthily try and find a way in then.
Yeah. Looking at the wall, Ryan, how hard do I think it might be to climb it? Like, is it enough handholds, rough projections? Like, do I think I could get up there?
Yeah, it wouldn't be hard to climb up. And you can see that this building is only a single story tall, and the roof appears to be in fairly good repair.
How does everybody feel with that? No strong objections?
No. Sorry, I just have to reload the map.
I'm going to have much luck climbing it, but if you want to climb it, go ahead.
That's an athletics roll to climb that wall.
Yep, you get up on top, no problem.
All right.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't put you on top of the building because it would put you inside the room and you would see what's in there. But you get a good look around, and from your previous time in the temple, you're sure that it's the treasury that's below you, and that had the entrance to the catacombs inside.
Okie doke. So I am on the roof above the wall, and like all I see in front of me is more wall, right? Excuse me, more roof. Like,
I'm just going to move you around a bit so you can get a better view of the layout of the building. And everything that you can see appears to be in pretty good shape now.
okay, so it's all uninterrupted roof. There's no obvious holes. There were holes before, so is there any sign of any recent repairs, like they've put boards up or anything?
Yes, definitely. There's fresh shingles and repaired work on the roof that you're standing on.
I'll let down a rope and help the rest of the party get up on the roof if I can.
Okay.
And then I'll point out a nearby hole and say, I think we found our entry. They're making a lot of noise, so we can either go in fast and violent, or we can still try to peel back a few shingles and take a look-see.
I think it's worth taking a look.
Agreed.
Okay, stealthiest person, open up that roof.
Okay, that might be me. Is somebody else more stealthy than me?
I probably have the worst stealth.
Got +7.
Yeah, you're better.
Can anybody help?
Yeah, you can work.
I'll help.
Take guidance.
Okay, help and guidance is wonderful. Thank you both. So Ryan, would that just be a stealth check or do you want something else?
We'll give it a stealth check for now.
And I need to roll the d4 for guidance. So a 29.
Nice.
You take a close look around at the new shingles, and you can find a bit of a gap between them. so that you can take a look into the room below you. This is going to be interesting. And you had a long rest too, right? So you'd have a few more health left.
Thank you.
Would it be fair to maybe place her in the room as though she were actually in, or would that reveal too much?
That's what I'm going to do.
Maybe you'll have descriptions of. Thank you.
Inside, you see a tall, armored figure dressed all in black and is holding a great sword that is also black and serrated, and is pointing it at a ghostly figure that you can hear kind of rambling on, and the armored figure is threatening the ghost. And I'm going to need you to make a wisdom save, DC 13, as your gaze falls upon this ghost.
Nope.
Oh no.
Ooh, you failed by 5 or more. Yaereene ages 40 years and is frightened of the ghost.
I'm just gonna say, really lucky you're an elf.
Yeah.
And so that's what you see in there.
How is she reacting to being frightened?
Yaereene, how are you reacting to being frightened?
Of course, the way Yaereene would. Falls absolutely silent, terrified, and still.
Okay.
And makes herself very small without moving very much, but like curls into herself.
Okay, so that's what you guys see.
Tempus is going to scramble over as quietly as he can and will pull her back from the hole, kind of like just scoop her up and like into his chest kind of thing, backing away.
How long do I remain frightened for?
You can repeatedly make saving throws at the end of each of your turns for the frightened condition. And once you have successfully saved against it, you're immune to the ghost's horrifying visage for the next 24 hours. The aging can only be reversed with a greater restoration spell, but only within 24 hours of it occurring.
Crap.
So that's not happening likely. As we're not in combat, do you just want me to make a series of saves now, or do you want us to be in initiative?
I would just assume that you're going to save at some point before anybody does anything rather rash.
Good.
Can she have advantage on her saves through the power of comforting back and hair rubs?
I love it.
Miri would also come over and
She comes to with the whole party rubbing her, which causes her to go back into a frightened state. So can I, once I'm back to myself, Ryan, can I tell them what I saw? And questions for you. You said the armored one was threatening the ghost. Was it fearful, or was it the angry, you should do what I want you to? Or could I tell?
The ghost didn't appear to be afraid of the armored figure, and just appeared to be talking conversationally with it.
And so it wasn't menacing the armored figure, but the armored figure was rather menacing the ghost?
It appeared to be, yeah. It was pointing a sword at it.
Did I recognize the ghost, i.e. was that Jondalar?
Give me a perception check to see how good of a look you got. Yeah, it definitely looked familiar, probably like Jondalar.
So there's a dude that was mad at what I think is Jondalar's ghost, and by the way, he is real scary as a ghost. Way scarier than he was when he was not a ghost. Which I don't know if... Yeah, that's what I know.
So it may be best to try and interrogate the armored figure without entering into the room and risking ourselves by exposure to the ghost. Is that correct?
Well, I'm not feeling as well as I did before, and if you look at her, you can see signs of slight aging, because 40 years for an elf isn't like 40 years for a human, but you can see signs on her. I said, I don't think it would be good for some of you.
No, so I think it best to bring that armored figure out of the room.
But what happens if we have to deal with the ghost?
Well,
Can I go listen, Ryan, to see if the conversation is still occurring
Certainly.
without looking at this point in time? Since she's immune?
Yeah, you can listen at the gap in the shingles.
And is there still a conversation going on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can give me a perception check. See how good your listening is.
Not so wonderful at the moment.
Yeah, it's Jean Delar doing all of the talking, but you're having a hard time picking up what he's saying. His voice is quite soft and wispy.
Can anybody else try and hear what he's saying? It is John Delar talking right now. It might be useful to find out what he's trying to convince the armored figure of.
Perhaps our more perceptive people?
Mary will go to listen, making sure she doesn't look at anything.
Okay.
Perception check. Did that work?
You're not having any more luck than Yaereene was. You're hearing the familiar voice of Jean Delar, but it's changed slightly in his undead state.
It's too soft.
Yeah.
Well, I think I have a plan on how we can bring the armored figure to us.
What is it?
I'll show you all the noose that I've tied her in that rope that we used to climb up here.
Gonna pull him up by his neck?
He's wearing armor.
Just to point this out, the gap between the old shingles and the new shingles are not close to the armored figure. So you can't just dangle a rope down and fish it up.
But it was a great visual.
So what you're saying is that if we're going to get the rope around his neck, we either need to open up another hole or go fishing.
Yeah, you'd have to have a pretty good cast to get it over there.
Well, I think that opening up the roof would be a little bit noisy. How do people feel about our casting abilities? Yaereene, you're our best ranged attacker.
Well, I'd like to listen for a little while longer if we could keep trying and try and hear something.
Yeah, I was going to say I'd like to try.
Tempus is going to get this over with. He's going to stick his head in to listen.
Oh, God.
Is someone going to stop him from doing that, or is he going to do it?
I will try to stop him from doing that.
Yeah, like...
Tempus. No. First off, that's going to draw a lot of attention.
Green looks panicked and shakes her head repeatedly while trying to pull you back.
Well, I rolled the dice, Ryan. What's your ruling? Do they stop me in time?
Well, given your horrible roll, I don't think your head got anywhere close to the crack before they intervened.
Pout.
I'll take a look, and if it doesn't work, we'll figure something else up.
Don't just listen.
Only reason I'm doing it is because you guys are, like, clearly trying to listen.
You hear Jean Delar droning on and on about historical topics related to religion. And the armored figure speaks in a very rough, feminine voice and says, "Damn it, Jean Delar! Tell me where Glothor is now!" But he just ignores her speaking and continues to talk on and on at length. Getting to the point in the conversation where he's starting to talk about his trip to Daystar Lake.
Okay, Ysmyr is going to pull back and quickly let the others know. Okay,
Did Ysmyr recognize the feminine voice?
That's actually a good question. Do I recognize the feminine voice?
I don't know.
I will point out that they were neighbors. The temple was right across from Ysmyr's cottage.
No, it's not.
Oh, no, it's not.
Damn it!
It was across from the end to your estate.
But Ysmyr would have known Miri's mother.
Not really, because I'm thinking about the interactions that have been had through the game, and Ysmyr wasn't
Before the game.
when Miri was talking to her about the tablets, because she was off with.
And she was so scared.
Yes, but Ysmyr would have known Miri's mother from before the game started.
Why?
Miri's mother was part of healing Ysmyr. It was how Ysmyr and Miri met.
Okay. Then yes, you would recognize the voice of Carrie Brightwood.
Okay. Ysmyr's gonna quickly pull back. The one in the dark armor, I believe, is your mother, Miri. This is not good, and John Millar's rambling, but he's starting to talk about Daystar Lake. Your mother is asking about Lothor.
So, she's looking...
Ysmyr's looking like this is a big panic, like not a discussion thing. This is like we need to decide stuff now. This is not...
She's serving the enemy.
Yes.
And now what do we...
Here.
And we can't go in there right now because of what Jondalar did to Yaereene.
Don't look at the ghost.
Or
we draw her out.
let's try and bring her to us on the roof.
What if we dropped one of the stars into the building?
No.
That seems pretty reckless.
That would get us killed. Miri, you're the only one who can bear those things. And me just barely.
Ryan, is there any way that we saw in? When I peered into that room, was there any exit?
There's an archway into the room, but it's in from inside the building in the hallway that you can see from the roof.
So no fast way to get in.
No.
We can do this. If Yaereene throws the rope, I'll haul her in. No danger from the ghost, and we can talk to her at our leisure.
I'm happy, but it's a small thing that she won't fit through the hole right now.
I'll pull harder.
We need to get her out, everyone. Someone make a noise somewhere, not right here.
Wait. Sorry, I have an idea. I just need to look.
Hey, Tara, could you knock on the wall?
I could cast silence on this spot, and then we could take apart the ceiling.
Uh-oh. I think we might have lost Tiara.
Okay, out of game, I really, really do like the idea of creating silence and then taking apart the roof above her, but that will take time, and there is still a chance she might notice. So, are we...
John Delar is starting to talk about Daystar Lake. We need to decide now.
Okay, I'm happy to try and lean in and lasso her. If you guys want to do that, I'm happy to try it.
The gap that you're listening through and looking through is not big enough to shove a rope through and lasso.
Not even big enough for my hand. Big enough for a crack.
Person.
Okay, then you silence, I'll punch through the roof, and we drop the rope. 1, 2, 3, go.
Wait. I like hold person. Hold person, then silence. That's smart.
Go for it.
Okay, hang on.
Ryan, is the floor of the room more than 20 feet below the roof we're on?
No. Probably closer to 15.
Perfect.
Silence is a really good idea, at least. Make sure they can't hear John Delar.
Yeah, because as soon as Miri casts hold person, I'll cast silence on the floor right beside her.
Okay, so we've got hold person being cast, and wisdom saving throw or be paralyzed for the duration.
And I would like to time my silence right after she casts it, so as to avoid any screams should it fail.
I would say make sure Jean Delar's in the bubble so she can't hear him ramble.
Yep. I'll do it right between the two of them. And then you guys need to rip up the roof as quickly as possible. We'll have silence for it.
Okay. Well, I can just Eldritch Blast the roof if we want.
You will be able to silence bubble up on the roof.
Miri, what is the DC of hold person?
It says wisdom 15.
Ho, 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 ho!
Oh, nice.
Okay, you managed to paralyze your mother.
And then I cast silence.
And where is that being dropped?
I am dropping it literally right in front of her, in between her and Jean Delar, on the floor.
And it is a
20-foot radius.
Okay. You have her held, and the room is silenced.
The minute Yaereene finishes with casting her spell, Tempus is going to take a two-handed swing with the greatsword to try and knock aside the shingles and masonry to try and widen the hole that we've been peeking through.
Okay.
And Ysmyr will help with some Eldritch Blasts at the whole spot.
And Yaereene is going to try as well. I think go all out trying to break this thing.
Yeah, Yaereene just cast the
Yeah,
silent
I'll have to wait.
spell, so it's the others who are attacking the roof right now. There's no attack rolls, it's just straight up damage.
That's one. I guess I get 2.
Oh, good call. I get 2 as well.
Nice roll.
Yeah.
Train cars!
So you guys smash your way through this roof and open up a 5-foot hole.
Trying not to look at Jean Delar as I drop in, as we do this.
Hard.
Probably, but gotta try.
Okay, I'm going to start up the initiative tracker now.
By the way, this is the most unorthodox entry to combat I've had so far. I'm quite enjoying it.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
SWAT team go.
Pretty much.
Oh, we have to roll initiative. Whoops.
Yeah, if you look at the combat tracker, you should see a dice that you can click on.
Yeah, if you go into the little fist icon, there'll be a dice next to your name, and you click on that.
So guys, I'm gonna let you know what I'm thinking right now because last time it was chaos. I'm thinking of dropping darkness on Jean Delar, like where he's floating, so that we can't see him.
Super smart. Love it.
Ideally, if you can do it so that we can still see Carrie, that would be great.
Yeah, my only concern is I don't know if he's actually going to fight us, you know? Like, I'm worried he's
Don't know.
actually more hostile, which means he could fly out of the bubble. But if that's the case and it's dangerous, I'd say you guys dive into it because at least you'd be safe.
So, can you pop us all into the room where we made our dramatic entry?
Sure. And it's impossible to go in there without looking at the ghost. So everybody please make wisdom saves.
Me as well?
Nope, you are immune for the next 24 hours.
Right, but I figure it out now, so cool.
I'm going to use my inspiration to roll at advantage.
Okay.
I think it's a very good thing you did.
Yep.
Whoops.
You did well.
Wow.
Nice
should-
rolling, DM.
Hey, Miri, if you don't want to accidentally become an old woman, it might
Yeah,
be.
no, I
worth
gotta
it.
find it.
Yeah.
Roll with advantage. You hold down the shift key if you want to use your inspiration.
Wisdom is my highest save.
Up to
You
you,
have a
but
chance
Still
at
roll a
that.
1.
we're going to laugh if you fail.
Just
Laughter
Okay.
averted.
none of you are frightened of Chandelar, and none of you lose years off your life. Yay. Ysmyr.
Okay, hopping in, does Jean Delar seem hostile to us, or is he just his rambling self and the danger is he's floating around?
As you enter the room, you can see that he looks confused as he no longer hears his own voice and turns towards you, and you do see that his demeanor becomes hostile in nature.
Aw, darn!
Okay, sorry, that, are we immune to his visage now, or?
Yes, everybody saved, so you're all immune.
Okay, so it's not a problem anymore. Okay,
I have no third level slots because I did sending the
with that in mind, on my turn, I'm going to cast Armor of Agathis on myself. So I get it's a 3rd level spell now, so I get 15 extra hit points. And if I get hit and still have those hit points, those hitting me take cold damage.
Okay.
And right, just adding that in so I don't forget. And I don't really have any. And I'm going to Hexblade's Curse. Carrie.
I was gonna say, don't Hexblade's curse me.
Maybe.
You're fine. Just in case. And I will move about here for now.
Okay. And that's your turn?
That's my turn.
I honestly have no idea what he would do with his turn. I guess
Keep
inspiration
somebody
on
burnt.
somebody.
Probably get out of the way.
Ysmyr, you get inspired.
All right. And we're all silent, so they can't even ask what the hell we're doing.
Oh no! Inspiration is hearing based, so no
Oh,
inspirations for anybody. I think he's just gonna hold his action because he can't cast any. Probably all of his spells require a verbal component as well. He's just gonna sit there with. Oh, he doesn't have any ranged weapons, does he? Yeah, he's just gonna sit there. That's what he gets for falling asleep.
I mean, he could throw it. I don't know.
Yaereene, what are you gonna do?
I'm going to move to there, and then I'm going to shoot Carrie.
One moment. 7 misses on the attack of opportunity. So, yes, you get to go now.
She has an attack of opportunity when she's paralyzed.
No, Jandalar did, though.
Whoops, missed that. Thank you. Glad he missed.
Yeah. Okay, you are attacking with advantage because she is paralyzed.
We roll another d20, and that's +7.
You miss. Your arrow just pings off her armor.
It's okay. We'll keep. Actually, it was +10. Pardon me. So would a 16 hit?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I'll do it again.
Nice.
And I keep
That's a
forgetting to roll the second one.
24 hits.
And I'm going to attack her again using the extra shot from the bow.
And 22 hits.
I figure we can always patch her up later if we decide she's not evil. But so far, she's seeming evil.
Anything else on your turn?
I'm done. That's everything for my turn. Thank you.
Okay. Miri, you're up.
I am maintaining the concentration on the hold person.
Yep.
And I'm going to evoke spiritual weapon.
Does that have a verbal component?
No. Oh wait, yes it does. It says VS. Crap.
Verbal and
Yeah,
V is-
that's verbal.
V is verbal.
Miri, be the war cleric you were meant to be. Step up and hit her.
All right. Well, I was gonna step up and whack her with the spiritual weapon, but so I'm gonna walk up here and take a couple whacks at her.
That was my confusion too. And
I
What?
think clerics only get 1 attack. I don't think you got the extra attack
I
like
am a
everyone
war
else.
cleric.
Oh, did you get extra attack as a war cleric?
Yeah, she can up to as many times as her wisdom modifier a day. She can take a second attack action.
Nice.
Don't forget, you're rolling at advantage because she's still paralyzed.
Yep. Yeah, it's the war priest. When you use the attack action, you can make one weapon attack as a bonus action.
Very
you can
nice.
use this feature 4 times per long rest. So, yeah.
Sounds good.
I am whack her once, bonus action, whack her again.
That's a hit.
That was advantage.
Correct.
I think I need to do it again, though.
Yeah, you get another attack because of that feature that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah!
Nice!
you've got some issues with your mom that you're working out right now.
Apparently. Well, for
That's a
one
really
thing,
nice hit.
she has clearly turned to the dark side.
All right, so that's an action and a bonus action. Anything else on your turn, Miri?
That's all I can do except for maintaining the hold person,
Okay.
which I believe I can do for up to a minute.
Yeah.
All right, Tempus.
So Miri, keep track of the rounds. A minute is 10 rounds.
Okay.
Every time Carrie's turn comes around, add 1.
Okay.
So Tempus is going to see that Miri clearly has Carrie well in hand. He is going to turn towards the ghost, having seen it take a swipe at Yaereene, and everyone is going to see his brow furrow. Unlike his regular battle rage, though, he does not fly into a great screaming, spittling roar. He instead holds up the blade, the greatsword, and he runs his hand down the blade, and all of you watch as the blade is engulfed in flames, and he's going to recklessly attack the ghost with it.
Make a charisma saving throw DC 15. You are attacking Carrie.
What I mean to say is I move around and attack Carrie. Probably while declaring something along the lines of Deus Vult!
Nobody hears it because you're in silence, but okay. And you miss. Oh, that time you got her.
And that's my turn.
Okay. And she successfully saves from hold person at the end of her turn, so that spell is done.
Oh, darn.
She looks extremely unimpressed. Well, not that you can really see her face, but, pissed right off.
Posture.
Tempus, you are within 5 feet of Jandalar. Please make a charisma saving throw DC 13.
This is my strong suit where I shine.
Yes.
Or not.
Oh,
Oh, no!
I was worried about that.
Okay. One thing you've got to take into account here, Ryan, is that possesses Tempus with a lowercase t. What happens to Tempus with the uppercase t?
They're all the same thing.
And I was trying there for you.
So, cursed sword, god in my head, like elder elf ghost with a case of motor mouth. How many more people are going to be sharing my body?
Seriously, they're getting crowded in there.
Here's a question. Is the ghost affected by the sword?
Which sword?
The sword Tempus has.
I don't know.
Because that could work if Carrie swings at him. That's funny, though.
Yeah.
That is a very heavily occupied half-orc.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yes.
Right now he's being driven by the ghost. But that's it for the ghost's turn. It doesn't actually get to do anything other than the possession. Ysmyr, what are you going to do?
All right. Well, I gain a +3 bonus to damage rolls against her. So I'm going to make a. Sorry, I'm just debating getting in there with a sword or not. I'll just take. You know what? Yeah, I'll go in there with my sword. I get to take 2 shots now too because I have thirsting blade. So if I could move, I'll move up and take a swing with the moonblade.
In that position, do you get flanking?
Nope.
Do you want to move 1 square down?
I could, yeah.
Now you have flanking.
And there was stuff written in the chat, just as an FYI.
Attacks against her non-lethal.
If you declare that you're trying to not kill her.
Are we trying to not kill her?
Only
Please.
if we want to talk to her.
Question her.
It's kind of very small.
Making non-lethal attacks with advantage because I'm flanking. That's the first one.
Yeah, that drops her.
And now I'm at a loss of what to do because
You could continue making non-lethal attacks on people.
Remember what I taught you. Enough damage will kill me.
yeah. Sorry, just hold on. That Hexblade curse thing gives me something, so I just need to. I guess I don't need to retain hit points right now, so I'm good. I guess I'll turn to Tempus. Do I know he's possessed?
He hasn't done anything yet. The ghost just disappeared from view. And give me an Arcana check to see if you know that ghosts do that. Where'd the ghost go?
So with that in mind, I'm just going to. Can I hold my next
No.
attack?
No.
Nope. Okay.
It's all used at once.
Okay. And do I have? Then I'm just gonna call that good for now, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tiara pumps his fist in excitement that you guys won so easily. Yaereene, what would you like to do?
Yaerene's just going to stand guard and watch for anything hostile, and she'll shoot it if anything hostile attacks. I'm sorry, Tempus, she doesn't know. Can I make an Arcana check actually first?
Sure.
I only have I have a +1, not a -1.
Not quite there. No.
Okay, she will hold her action and she will shoot anything that is hostile to our party.
Okay. Miri, it's your turn.
Can I make an argument for a religion roll instead of Arcana?
No, this isn't really a religion thing. It's a magic ghost thing.
But I would have studied the undead as part of...
Why?
Because as part of my cleric understanding.
I'm trying to think if Miri has shown any amazing understanding of the undead before this point, and nothing's really ringing a bell. And anyway, Arcana is also the study of magic stuff, so I'm still going to say an Arcana check. You know that ghosts can possess someone, and you saw it fly into Tempus, so you've got a good guess that he is possessed by a ghost.
And Would I therefore have a good guess at what could actually drive the ghost out?
Yeah, you know that your turn undead ability would do that. I just have to check something here. You have to be able to speak for that, and it's silenced.
It's very quiet in here.
Yep. Who did the silence spell?
Yaereene.
I'm gonna gesture at Yaereene and point at my mouth and say, I need to talk.
Okay. Are you doing anything else on your turn?
Well, I'd like to use that turn undead, but if Yaereene wants the silence spell...
I do that on your turn. I would need to wait till my turn.
Yeah, it's got to wait.
Okay. Well, I'll hold the turn undead ready.
Okay.
Like, I'll hold up my holy symbol in front of Tempus.
Okay.
And I'll gesture at Yaereene with, I need to talk.
So, Tempus. Can you please take 2 attacks with your lovely flaming sword against Miri?
Does the ghost have all of my requisite abilities and knowledge?
I believe so.
No.
I'm attacking recklessly.
No, the ghost does not. If you read the thing...
It uses the statistics. Oh, but doesn't gain class features or proficiencies. Does multiple attacks count as target knowledge class? It is a class feature. Okay, so
class feature.
A single
as
attack.
Is raging.
Well, he
I
started
already
that.
rolled at advantage. You can either take the first roll or I can roll again. Please let me roll again.
I'll take the first roll. That's fine.
Boo.
Miri, you take 12 slashing damage plus any fire damage the sword does.
Right, 1 second. I need to toss an extra d6 on there.
Why?
Because it's a sword on fire.
And I believe I shoot Tempus at this point.
Huh?
That was a hostile action, so would her declared action of shooting me go off?
Yes.
Did it come through?
I don't see it.
Miri, please note you did take that 17 damage, though, of which 5 of it was fire.
Oh, look at that. You didn't hit him.
You literally could have hit me on a 3.
Okay.
So she's just unconscious. Jean Delar is not currently in the fight because he's in Tempus.
Oh, shoot. And I forgot. Oh, I haven't had my turn.
No, not yet. There's a verbal component to Booming Blade.
In what is simultaneously like one of the smartest things we've ever done, silence has become the darkness too.
Sure has.
Oh no. Hold on that second Moonblade attack. Well, no, you know what? I'm gonna roll some dice, and if I get below 20, it's really bad for Miri. If I get 21 to 50, you're gonna make a dex save to see if you hold on to the sword. And if it's above 50, nothing bad happens. Nothing bad happens. So the second attack goes through, and she clobbers you one.
I take the full 15 because I'm not raging.
Yeah, and I think she is using it in 2 hands. I don't think she uses a shield, does she?
Don't believe so.
No, I don't use a shield. Yeah, I'm not carrying the dagger in my offhand yet. So yeah, I would use 2 hands.
Is there anything else you're doing on your turn?
So that should have been the D10s if it was 2 hands. Because I rolled it with D8s. Oops.
Well, no, because it shows both one-handed and two-handed damage in the roll.
Okay, good.
Sorry, Tempest,
my bad.
Tempest at 15.
Then that's my turn.
KTR takes this opportunity to walk forward and stab Tempest.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
Very nice.
And he definitely doesn't use a shield, so you're taking the two-handed damage there. Which is less than the one-handed damage. But, and that's it for his turn. Yaereene.
I think shooting him is still the best option.
Please lift the silence!
I'll lift the silence, because I just can remove my concentration, but I'm still going to shoot him. And I'm going to lift the silence after I shoot him, in case he screeches in pain.
Okay. That's 13 damage for Tempest.
This isn't how we thought he was going to get possessed. I will not do my second shot. I will lift the silence.
Okay.
Okay. Now how do I cast the Channel Divinity? It doesn't say.
If you click on the ability and then go on the display VTT, it should display it for us in the chat. I don't know how
There it is.
So yeah, you don't have to roll nothing. He rolls a wisdom save.
Okay.
What's your save DC again, Mary?
15.
I think so.
All right. Tempus is no longer possessed.
Where is Chandelar, though?
Turned creature must spend its turns trying to move as far away from you as it can, and it can't willingly move to a space within 30 feet of you. It also can't take reactions. For its action, it can only use the dash action to try to escape from an effect that prevents it from moving. If there's nowhere to move, the creature can use the dodge action.
Okay. Anything else on your turn, Miri?
I don't think so. That's...
Okay. I'll move on to Tempus.
And then brother Thorkin Firescale did bake for us many pies, which we enjoyed most heartily. Rah, 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 and I'm going to attack him.
A 22 hits. That's not a critical.
That was a reckless attack, so that was definitely a critical.
Okie doke. So that's 20 damage.
Toss on a flaming sword.
Yeah, and he resists the fire.
I think I just might do that again.
That hits. Ow. Anything else on your turn?
No, that's it for me. Thank you.
Carrie continues to drool. Jondalar runs away.
Attacks of opportunity.
Yep.
Miri, you'll get one too.
No, Miri's too far away.
Oh, sorry. I was mistaking. Please don't try and kill Kitiara for me.
And that is the end of Jondalar. Well, I have to say, this didn't go at all the way I expected it to go, but it was fun.
So are you allowed to tell us how you expected it to go?
I mean, I expected you guys to have to actually go through the only entrance to the building that was a door, but, this worked really well.
Yes, it did.
We're a little unorthodox sometimes.
No kidding.